And we are live on Aces TV as the Melbourne Aces welcome back the Adelaide Giants for Game 2 of a 4-game set. Welcome into the Brick Lane pregame show. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Michael Mark Cantonini. Getting you set for tonight's matchup. Tough loss for the Aces last night, Josh. It was all Adelaide, 7-0. But a few bright spots in the game for the Aces. Jeremy Young out of the bullpen, 3 perfect innings in his first relief outing in 2 series. And then offensively, not a ton of hits on the Aces side, but doubles in the game for both Chris Burke and George Khalil. Both of those guys continue to swing a pretty solid bat.
Yeah, half of their hits going for extra bases for the Aces last night. And as you mentioned, Jeremy Young had as good of a relief outing as we've seen from anyone. 9 up, 9 down, a couple of strikeouts for him. He was really feeling good after the game as well. So always good to see a couple of bright spots after a tough game like that.
Aces looking to turn the corner tonight and get back to their winning ways, even up the series at a game apiece. They'll send right-hander Scott Harkin to the mound. Scott, a newcomer here in Melbourne, a recent addition to the team. He joined the team in round 8 in Sydney. 2 innings in relief, did not allow a run in his first outing. This is a guy who is a starter. He's stretched out to start. Aces worked him in the bullpen in his first outing, but he gets to start tonight. What do you expect from Scott?
Well, that was his first outing in the bullpen in a couple of years, as you said. Definitely used to being a starter, so I think he's going to look even more comfortable than he did. But it's really hard to say, a guy who kind of jumped off the plane and right onto the mound, but he still looked really solid, controlled his pitches really well. Isn't going to blow you away with a hard fastball or anything, but he's got really good stuff and he locates his pitches really well. I'm excited to see him stretched out over a full start.
So the Aces will send Scott the Shark Harkin to the mound for his first start of the season for the Aces. A new look lineup for the Aces tonight, and no new players, just some reshuffling and a couple big bats back in tonight's lineup. Aaron Whitefield in center field and Darryl George at first base. Those two guys did not play last night, but they're back in the lineup tonight. What does that mean for this team?
It just means a whole lot more chances at hitting. George needed a bit of a day off. He's still been kind of stringing together hits. Just, again, you expect so much from Darryl George that to see his average go right around 200 is a bit of a surprise, but I think the day off's going to do him well. Going back to the middle of that Aces order, I think is going to be just absolutely massive for this team.
So 2 big bats back in that Aces lineup as they look to grab a win tonight to keep their playoff hopes alive. Josh, the elimination number is 2 right now, so any combination of Perth wins and Aces losses that equals 2 would eliminate the Aces, but still mathematically alive, and still, you just never know in baseball. Anything can happen. It's only going to take stringing a couple hits together for this team to put a rally together and maybe some wins. What are your thoughts on keeping the season alive?
Well, I think the lineup is pretty well set up to do that. I do like Chris Burke in the leadoff spot, a guy who's reached base in each of his last 4 games for the Aces. A couple of extra base hits. He's just been hitting the ball really well, and putting him in that top spot just gets guys on base early on, and he's got good base running ability as well, so I think that's a good place to start.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot again to wrap up the show. Pick a standout star for tonight's game.
I was going to say Chris Burke. I think him in the leadoff spot is very good, but I'm going to go with Darryl George. I think he's due. Putting him back in that 4 hole. You got Jake Skoll batting third. Obviously can't pitch around him, so George is going to get some pitches to hit in that 4 spot, and I think he's going to rebound with a couple of hits, and at least one of them for going for extra bases.
I like it. We'll lock it in. Josh is going with Darryl George for his standout star in tonight's game. First pitch coming up just a couple minutes after 7 p.m. Thanks for tuning in to the Brick Lane pregame show. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Aussie Mike. We'll talk to you in a couple minutes on the broadcast.
It is a beautiful day for baseball here at Melbourne Ballpark as the Aces fight to stay in the playoff race against the Southwest Division leading Adelaide Giants. Welcome in to the broadcast. I'm Josh Sperber alongside Aussie Mike. And it was a tough loss last night, but we've seen the Aces rebound from games like this time and time again this season.
And I expect nothing less tonight. I expect them to go out there loose, relaxed, ready to have some fun and just play some baseball. Look, this is an uphill battle late in the season for this team to try to make a playoff push. They know that. They know they need literally everything to go right to get in. But late in the season, these games still mean something. So I think this is an Aces team that's going to go out there and fight till the end.
We'll be keeping an eye on the Perth game against Canberra. Right now it's 4-1 Perth in the bottom of the first inning. But we'll get started with the Vibrant Services weather report on another beautiful day for Aces baseball. Mike, what are we seeing out there?
Really nice weather, end of report. 25 degrees Celsius, a couple degrees up from last night's game. Wind coming in at 23 kilometers per hour, 65% humidity. It is pretty humid out there, but low percent chance of rain, just 2%. We like when it's clear skies and no precipitation in the forecast.
It had me at really nice weather, to be honest with you. It should be even hotter tomorrow, but we should be into for a hot one today as we have a record crowd for this season. Should be our biggest of 2022/2023. But first, we'll see what lineup that this large crowd will be facing here at Melbourne Ballpark. We'll take a look at the starters for the Melbourne Aces. Leading off is going to be Chris Burke, a guy who has recorded a hit or reached base in some capacity in each of his last 4 games, including all 3 he played in Sydney. Robbie Glendinning moves from third to short, and he'll be batting second as the lineup shifts around a little bit for Peter Moylan. Jake Skoll is getting a night off in the field, but keeping him in the lineup as the DH in the 3-hole tonight. And back in the batting order for the Melbourne Aces, someone that they sorely missed yesterday in Darryl George, the reigning Helms Award winner. Ryan Lavarnway is behind the plate, and he will be doing the catching. Caught the first pitch as well today, so a little early work for Lavarnway. Jared Dale into third base. Him and Glendinning switching positions. He'll be batting 6th. Aaron Whitefield will be in center field today, batting 7th after a night off last night. Jacob Robson will move from center field into right field, replacing Skoll in right and moving into the 8-hole in the lineup. And rounding out the order for the Aces once again is George Khalil, who had one of the Aces' 2 doubles last night. He'll be playing second base. And making his debut as a starter for the Melbourne Aces is Scott Harkin, a guy who's well-traveled in his baseball career, including a stint already in winter baseball, as it is in America, in the Mexican League. So he's a guy who's already had a lot of innings in this 2022-2023 season.
He's racking up the stamps in his passport, I'll tell you that, Josh. He's bounced around quite a bit. He's been around the independent circuit over the last few years, and he's a guy who just knows how to get outs.
Well, we're going to get out for a second and take a pause for the national anthem of Australia. We'll be back with the keys to the game. Some fireworks already, as we do expect a fireworks show after the game tonight. We're all hoping for the Aces to make some fireworks happen at the plate as well, coming off of a 7-0 loss last night. Harkin and the Aces looking to turn the tables on the Adelaide Giants. What are their keys to be doing that as we take a look at Mike's keys to the game?
It starts with scoring early. This is a team that did not get on the board at all last night. They left a lot of guys on when they had chances. So for the Aces, just score early, put some pressure on the Giants and the opposing pitcher, and get some early run support for the Shark, Scott Harkin. That's what they call him. He's Scott the Shark Harkin. So just make it easier on him in his first outing in front of this Melbourne Aces crowd here at home at Melbourne Ballpark. So just looking to make things easy for Scott and give him that early run support. And then the big bats back in the lineup. You got a couple Helms Award winners who were not in last night's lineup, in Aaron Whitefield and Darryl George, that are back in the lineup tonight. Aaron Whitefield shaved the beard, looks like a completely different person. He's back in center. George back over at first. We'll see what the Aces can get out of those bats tonight.
And yeah, I did not recognize Aaron Whitefield the first time I saw him. You guys will get to see him in just a little bit, and I do like the way that Peter Moylan organized the bottom of the lineup, putting two of his best hitters in Aaron Whitefield and Jacob Robson in the 7 and 8 spot.
He continues to mix things up. The last 2 series, we've seen quite a bit of mixing and matching. One day you got Robson at the top of the order, and the next day you got him down in the 8 hole. Chris Burke's in the 6 hole, then he's up to the 2 or the 1 spot. Dale's in the leadoff spot, then he's back down. So just mixing and matching, changing things up late in the season. I think it keeps guys fresh and ready to go.
Well, we are ready to go here in Melbourne Ballpark. The Adelaide Giants bring Nick Ward to the plate. He's the leadoff hitter for the second straight night. Really similar lineup for Adelaide. After that 7-0 win yesterday, Nick Ward leads off. He'll play second base. Michael Martinez at short, batting second. Anthony Kirion moves from behind the plate to the DH spot, and he'll be doing the cleanup work. Jared Carr swaps into the 5th spot today out in center. Liam Spence at 6 will play first. Jordan McArdle moves down to 7, stays in right field. Ryan January in doing the catching, and Ian Walters at third base. The number 9 hitter for the Giants as they face Scott Harkin, who in the 2022 to 2023 baseball season is now with his 4th team in his 3rd different league. Played with Long Island in the Atlantic League season, the primary American baseball season. In the spring, 10-8 record with an ERA of .486 in 24 starts for the Ducks, coming off of 2 teams in the Mexican Winter League, as the first pitch of the ball game misses outside for ball 1. And now with the Melbourne Aces, pitched 1 relief outing in Sydney, and he looked pretty good.
He really did, and to just hop off a plane, not even meet the team in the home city that you're going to pitch in, but meeting the team on the road is tough, not knowing most of the guys. And he didn't miss a beat.
He pitched 2 innings in relief against Sydney, allowed 2 hits, did not strike out a batter, but got the outs he needed. Not a strikeout guy, more of a pitch-to-contact type guy, and that is something the Adelaide Giants did a whole lot of last night, make contact with the baseball.
So you just have to know going into the game that this team's not going to strike out a lot, and Harkin's able to work around that, like you said. A guy who pitches really well to contact, lets his defense make plays behind him. So that should work in his favor tonight.
3-1 count to Nick Ward, a guy who earned himself a contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. 3-1, called strike, a fastball on the outside corner, makes it a full count.
This is the guy you need to keep off base. 3 for 5 last night. He just sprays the ball all over the field. And he's got good speed, too, especially coming from the left side. He's got that extra step out of the box. He's a tough guy to keep off base. Big pitch coming here from Scott.
Payoff pitch. Ward fouls it away. We'll go again. And if you look at the batting stats for Adelaide, Nick Ward is the leader in just about every single category. Tied with Anthony, actually just 0.05 points behind Anthony Kirion, but 6 more hits, 362 batting average, second on the team, 15 walks, 18 RBIs, 7 homers. As he bounces this one to first, George will take it himself and get the leadoff man out. Good start for Scott Harkin as we set the defense behind him for the Melbourne Aces. Darryl George at first base with George Khalil at second. Robbie Glendenning at short, Jared Dale at third. And in the outfield left to right, Chris Burke, Aaron Whitefield in center, and Jacob Robson in right, with Ryan Lavarnway as the battery mate for Scott Harkin. A very experienced backstop for the Aces and a very experienced 2-hitter for the Giants as Michael Martinez bloops this in to left center field, right in between Burke and Whitefield for the first hit of the day.
Not much you can do there. Weak contact off the end of the bat, and it just found a home in the outfield. But really like that 3-2 curveball that Harkin threw Ward. Ward was out in front. You could tell he had the hands out in front. And because of that, he hit a weak ground ball over to first base. And that's a huge pitch for Harkin. You don't want to walk the leadoff man or put him on in any way. And he's able to get the leadoff man out. That makes that single doesn't hurt you as much.
So 1 on and 1 out for Anthony Kirion, last night's catcher. Tonight he's getting a day off in the field, but keeping that bat in the lineup. Leads the team with a .367 batting average and takes the first pitch for a called strike. Ward was 3 for 5 last night. So was Kirion, including an RBI single in the second inning. 0-1. Liner out to left field, and that's going to fall into green grass for a second consecutive hit. And 2 hits in the first 3 batters for Adelaide to bring up the cleanup man in Quincy Lattimore.
This is where things could unravel quickly, but Harkin's a guy who's pitched at a high level for many years, and he knows how to pitch around traffic on the bases. And that's a ball that was hard hit, but it just found a hole. The previous hit, a blooper. He's one big pitch, a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
The double play is in order. And Quincy Lattimore gets an indoor curveball that misses, count 1-0. He's in his 7th professional season. He's been a pro since 2013. On and off, had a bunch of seasons in a whole bunch of different leagues. Signed by the Milwaukee Brewers out of Sonoma State University. And now it's a 1-1 count to Lattimore. Lattimore over 250 career home runs as he moves away from a fastball inside. And the runners will go on the wild pitch. Stuart Howe, I thought for a second he was trying to confer with the other umpires to see if that hit Lattimore, but we'll take a look on the replay here. Looked close, but barely missing the veteran.
Oof. A lot of tail on that fastball there from Harkin and up and in. And for a guy like Lattimore, who kind of crouches over the plate to begin with, has those arms and hands reached out over the plate, that could have been dangerous. But right now, with 2 men in scoring position, Ace is deciding to keep the infield back.
So that negates the double play, as this one is fisted into shallow center field. Easing back towards it is Khalil, and almost tagging up was Michael Martinez, trying to force an errant throw home, but a good one from Khalil will keep Martinez on third. So Harkin pitching to contact to get both of his outs, and that one a really good pitch by Harkin.
Yeah, jammed him right there. Just a pop-up in shallow right center. Khalil did a good job getting to that ball. And also the throw was so important there because Martinez, if he really wanted to, he could have tried that and made it close at home plate because Khalil, once he caught that, his momentum took him back. And a lot of times a guy on third will try it even if it's not that deep in the outfield just because of whoever catches it stepping backwards. So Khalil did a good job firing it in quickly and made a strong, accurate throw.
So 2 on, 2 outs, and a 1-0 count now to Jared Carr, another Philadelphia Phillies prospect. 1-0 misses inside, and it's 2-0. Adelaide has an agreement with the Phillies, like we've seen with Brisbane and the Brewers, Perth Heat, and the Tampa Bay Rays. One of the couple of ABL teams that has an accord with major league organizations to get some of their good prospects. As Carr takes a called strike, making it 2-1. And Carr's a guy that you and I saw in the South Atlantic League. He spent most of the year with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws.
It's cool seeing guys in one league and then you go somewhere else and see them again in a different uniform, wearing a different broadcast booth. It's always cool to see how they progress throughout their careers as well.
And Harkin will step off the mound.
Especially going from the minor league season in the States to now what is winter ball for a lot of these guys out here. And see what they're working on.
2-1, called strike on the outside corner. A nice pitch from Harkin to get 1 strike away from escaping the inning. So we take another look here. Really nice, looked like a cutter hitting the outside corner from Harkin. 2-2. Did he go? Appeal to the bases umpire says he did not, and it'll be a full count to Jared Carr. Umpires for tonight, Stuart Howe behind the plate, Ryan Harder at first. Neil Medlin was the guy who made the call, and that was a close one.
Everybody thought it was strike 3. Taking a look at the replay here, but Harkin and LaVarnley were both headed back to the dugout.
Payoff pitch, just missing outside, and it's ball 4. Second full count, first walk of the day to the Adelaide Giants. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs in the first inning to bring up another guy who's got some minor league experience under him in Liam Spence.
No harm there with the 2-out walk. First base was open, not a big deal. But now Harkin has to bear down with nowhere to put Spence. That's a big bat in the bottom of that lineup. It shows you the depth that this Giants lineup has.
Liam Spence, a guy in the Chicago Cubs system, as the curveball settles in there for a called strike. As I mentioned last night, I got to see his first professional game for the South Bend Cubs back in 2021. Did spend most of this year with Myrtle Beach, the low-A affiliate of Chicago. 0-1, hit on the ground to short. Glendening goes toward it. High throw to first. George leaps, and he gets on the bag in time. Great play at first by Darryl George to save a run and end the inning. We'll take a look at it here. A high throw from Glendening. High-pressure situation, but Darryl George showing off the glove and the hops to keep this game scoreless. So the Giants leave them loaded, and the crowd certainly loving that. Huge crowd on hand, huge game tonight for the Aces. Bottom of the first coming up next.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stocktake sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
A big crowd on hand here at Melbourne Ballpark. The Aces, after a tough first inning, still come up to bat for the first time in a scoreless ball game, and they'll be batting against Dylan Unsworth, a guy with an extensive amount of professional experience who began his career in the Seattle Mariners organization. Guy who has done quite a lot since becoming a pro back in 2010.
He's a veteran. He knows how to pitch. He knows how to get outs. And like Harkin, he's pitched on the independent circuit a lot recently. Pitched in winter ball a few different times.
Pitched in the prestigious Futures game back in 2016. South African native, expected to play for the South African national team in the World Baseball Classic as Chris Burke swings and misses at strike two.
You don't see a ton of professional baseball players come out of South Africa, so pretty cool to see.
The 0-2 is hammered deep into right field. Going back is McArdle, settling on the track to make the catch. And another one hit high and hard by Burke in his first at-bat of the ball game. And that was just eaten up by the wind.
I'm telling you, I really thought it was gone off the bat. I mean, just the sound that it made and the trajectory that it was on. Oh, yeah, I mean, if that ball doesn't get out, I don't think there aren't too many balls that are going to get out tonight going to right field if that one doesn't.
That was barreled up really well. That looked like it was hit even better than the one that hit the wall yesterday.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Burke thought he had it.
I certainly did. First pitch to Robbie Glendening misses for ball one as we set the Adelaide Giants defense. In right field, Jordan McArdle, Jared Carr in center, Quincy Lattimore in left as Unsworth deals the one out. Glendening sprays it foul, 1-1. The infield, Ian Walters at third, Michael Martinez at short, Nick Ward at second, and Liam Spence at first. And the catcher is Ryan January, the battery mate of Dylan Unsworth. Unsworth now in for the 1-1. Tipped into the glove of January for strike two.
An aggressive approach from the Aces early. Burke put a really good swing on the pitch. A little up, and now Glendening taking a big hack.
Working quickly, here's the 1-2. Now another one hit high in the air out to left center field. An easier run, though, for Carr. Ends up in the glove of Lattimore, who comes on pretty late to make the catch. Two well-hit balls by the Aces in their first two at-bats.
Yeah, both really good swings. And later in the game, maybe, depending on what the wind does, maybe one or both of those get out. But really encouraging to see a couple good swings from Burke and Glendening.
So Glendining's former teammate getting the better of him here, and now Jake Skoll will come up to the plate with 2 outs. A guy we might expect to see a long fly ball from as well. First pitch to the lefties, in there for a called strike. Skoll's been the right fielder in, I think, every game for the Aces so far he's played this season, getting a much-deserved night off in the field at DH tonight. 0-1, just missing outside, count 1-1.
Sometimes that makes a big difference when you don't have to go out in the field for 9 innings, so you can just worry about getting your 4 at-bats in.
And Skoll hitting .302 this season. Game number 18 for the Aces, coming on during the Brisbane series back in December, as the count goes to 2-1.
We see the designated hitter position in the lineup used more and more nowadays as a rotating day off for a lot of guys. Now, not a day off from playing, but just a day to get off your feet.
2-1. Swing and a miss underneath the fastball is Skoll, and it's 2-2.
Now, for years in the big leagues, if you've got a guy like David Ortiz, you know, he's penciled in the lineup in the cleanup spot, and he DHs every day. That's what he does. But nowadays, with the way the game has changed, you know, you give Skoll a day off and just let him hit one day. Maybe Burke's the DH the next day, Darryl George the day after that, Whitefield after that.
2-2. Swing and a miss. The first K of the day, Dylan Unsworth finishes off the Aces in order 1-2-3. So no runs in the first. Aces do not get a base runner as we head into the second inning in a scoreless ball game here at Melbourne Ballpark.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most, to share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale, it's the one for all.
An eventful first inning for both teams as we are in the second inning now. No runs in the first 2 frames, but 2 hits for the Adelaide Giants. They really made Scott Harkin work for it.
He did a good job working around the traffic on the bases. You know, that first out that he got, a weak ground ball hit by Ward. Second and third, 1 out, he got the weak pop-up to shallow right center. Really good to see from Scott. And I got to believe he'll settle in even more here in the second.
22 pitches, 13 for strikes for Harkin in that first, and now we'll face 7, 8, and 9 of the Giants. First pitch of the inning misses outside for ball 1. 1-0. Just missing with the heater, count 2-0. Both starters working pretty quickly as Harkin is ready, pitching from the stretch here. Unusual for a starter, as it's a hard liner by McArdle. Into the shift as Khalil fields that in right to make the first out of the second inning. And that is one of the last times you're going to see the overshift, something that is going to be out of Major League Baseball this coming season.
It's going to be weird to see no shift. I mean, it's something that's become such a given. I mean, you got a big pull hitter up at the plate, you shift. I mean, that's what everybody's done over the last 10 years in pro ball. But nonetheless, a really nice play by Khalil there.
And right there it worked to perfection as January takes the first pitch for a strike. I definitely agree with no overshift because let's face it, that should have been a base hit.
Yeah.
I mean, George Khalil, the second baseman, made that play in right. 0-1, outside, 1-1.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, I am a huge proponent of banning the shift. Now, I expected Major League Baseball to maybe not go from complete shift to no shift at all. I thought they would have done something like, now see, what I would have done is I would have said, instead of you can't shift at all, and what Major League Baseball is doing is you have to have only 2 infielders on each side of second.
Yeah.
Nobody can be in the outfield grass. I thought what they could have done, at least for the beginning of this new rule, is say, all right, you can pick one or the other. You can have 3 infielders on one side, but they got to stay in the dirt. Or if you want to put somebody in the outfield, you can only have 2 on each side. And
there were so many different thoughts about how they would end the shift as the 2-2 misses low. There was talk of something like that, the pie slice they called it, where they divided up the infield into 4 quadrants and each baseman and the shortstop could only be in one of those sections. Payoff pitch called strike 3. January was ready to walk to first base, but instead he'll walk to the dugout. 2 gone here in the second.
Yeah, Harkin said January. I'm moving on to February.
Nasty pitch right on the outside corner. Good call at home plate by Stuart Howe. 2 outs and nobody on for Ian Walters. But that pie slice, that was kind of what I thought was going to be for the shift instead of just eliminating completely. And I don't think eliminating completely is the right answer because it removes the strategy that puts the shift into the game.
It does completely take away the advantage that a lot of teams, had. Like, there was never a rule that, there's 9 people out in the field. There was never a rule of where all those 9 could go.
0-2, missing outside, 1-2.
It just took a while for Major League teams to realize, hey, like, just because there's 9 positions out there doesn't mean that guy has to stand exactly the same spot every time.
1-2. Bouncing past Lavarnway, and it's 2-2.
And why I like the idea of saying pick one. You can have 2 on each side, but somebody can go in the outfield, or you can have 3 on one side, but everyone's got to stand. That gives, I think it's the best of both worlds there.
2-2. Popped high in the air, foul. And I agree with that because the reason that teams shift is to combat, the pull hitters, as you said, where like you look at the spray charts of these guys in your scouting and you see where they hit the ball, you shift your defense to where that's going to be. 2-2. Just missing outside. The count runs full once again.
So it'll be really interesting to see how things work, not only in Major League Baseball, but at all the other professional levels this coming season.
We'll definitely see a lot of it in the minors. Payoff pitch. Hit on the ground to second, right at George Khalil, who's going to throw to first for out number 3. So Scott Harkin cruising in the second inning as he gets the Giants down in order 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom half of the second. Scoreless ball game here in Melbourne Ballpark.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Bottom of the second inning here in Melbourne, and one of the biggest crowds we'll see all year on hand. That's one of the biggest hits we'll see all night. George sends the first pitch out of the ballpark. Daryl George, a leadoff home run, picking up right where he left off in that Canberra series, and the Aces are on the board first.
Love that first pitch swing and ambush, send it to the left center field gap, one of the deeper parts of this ballpark. You saw him coming around third base, smiling, having some fun. He's got a little extra hop in his step tonight. That day off last night did him some good. That's a big blast to get the Aces on the board early.
Daryl George with his fourth home run of the season, and keep in mind, he's played in limited games because of that injury that kept him out of the first quarter of the season. Now that'll bring up another guy with a lot of power in Ryan Lavarnway, who takes the first pitch for a called strike.
Well, the scouting report has to be swing early against Unsworth. Burke, Glendinning, Skoll, and George have all done that so far, and three of those guys hit deep fly balls, one left the yard.
0-1, hard hit, but right to third baseman Walters, who'll send it across the diamond for out number one. So the Aces hitting the ball hard here in the second, and that'll bring up Jared Dale with one out.
Yeah, hard contact. Sooner or later, even the balls that find a glove somehow fall later in the game. That's what you want. You want hard hit balls because they've got such a higher chance of turning into hits than the weekly hit balls do.
Jared Dale, a guy who hits the ball plenty hard in the sixth spot tonight. First pitch to him in there for a called strike. All four pitches thrown in this inning have been strikes by Unsworth. Now we're getting a preview of a potential World Baseball Classic matchup as Dale swings and misses for strike two. Dale on the year, 229 hitter, still looking for his first home run. 22 years old. 0-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again. Dale has been pro with the Aces since 2016 when he was 16 years old. In his sixth season in Melbourne, a guy with a whole lot of experience as a professional. 0-2. That one is hit high in the air out to center field. Carr's going to ease back and make the one-handed grab, and that will do it. So, two gone now in the second inning, and that's going to bring up Aaron Whitefield. A new look for the Aces center fielder. First time I've ever seen him without a beard during batting practice, and I did not recognize him.
Yeah, the first glimpse I got was looking at the monitor pregame, and I was pretty stunned. But sometimes you just got to change up the mojo. You get a close-up look there. Yeah, definitely a new look Whitefield.
Two-time Helms Award winner. Couple times an ABL champion with the Brisbane Bandits in his first year with Melbourne. Now the 1-0. Hit the other way, foul. Whitefield, in his first game against Adelaide this series, did play on the Adelaide Giants before coming to the Aces, as that one is inside and was close to hitting him, but that bounces off the glove of Ryan January, and instead it's a 2-1 count. Whitefield, a guy who's made it to the majors with two different teams, first the Minnesota Twins in 2020, and more recently the LA Angels this past season. 2-1, missing outside, 3-1. And this is not the guy that Dylan Unsworth and the Giants want on the base pass with 2 outs. He has yet to be caught stealing since becoming a member of the Melbourne Aces. 3-1. Whitefield thought it was ball 4. Frankly, so did I, but the fastball catches the outside corner, and the count runs full. Whitefield this season, 10 walks, homer, 10 RBIs. And this one he hits the other way to first base, fielded on a hop by Spence, who's going to tag the bag for out number 3. But the Aces get themselves on the board. A Darryl George home run right at the start of the inning puts the Aces out in front. We're going to fly out of here as fast as that baseball did and head to a break. Mike Marcantonini will have the call when we get to the 3rd inning here on Aces TV.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit Punt 123.
Top 3 at Melbourne Ballpark. Scott Harkin back to work, this time working with a lead. Nick Ward, the Giants' leadoff man, skies one to left. And there is Chris Burke. 1 pitch, 1 out for Scott Harkin. And his first pitch of the inning worked out a lot better than Unsworth's first pitch of the bottom of the second. Darryl George unloaded on a hanging breaking ball and blasted it over the left center field wall to put the Aces up 1-0. First lead of the series, first run of the series for the Aces as they lead at 1-0 top 3. Now with Ward retired, here's Michael Martinez. First pitch curveball from Harkin, just drops that one in there for strike 1. Aussie Mike and Josh Sperber with you on the call. As the Aces look to keep their playoff hopes alive, they need a win tonight to do it. Aces came into tonight's ball game in a situation where 1 Aces loss and 1 Perth win, which could both happen tonight, would eliminate the Aces from playoff contention. So Perth's magic number for a playoff spot is 2. That's what that means. Perth Heat leading the Canberra Cavalry tonight, but the Aces looking to stave off elimination. They lead it early here in the 3rd. Slapped on the ground to the left side. Dale has it go off his glove into shallow left center. See if it's a hit or an error, but Martinez is on.
And right at Dale or not, I'd still call that a hit because that was just a hard hit ball. Looked like it just ate him up a little bit, and it's going to be an error on Jared Dale. And Martinez reaches first for the second time, but a really hard hit liner by Michael Martinez.
Anthony Kirion, the designated hitter, singled his first time up, takes another breaking ball. That one looked good, but called a ball. Harkin trusting that curveball early. He labored through a long first, faced 6 batters, got out of a bases-loaded jam. Then a 1-2-3 second. Another curve, that one's over. It's 1-1. George's home run in the second was his 4th of the season. All 4 of those coming at Melbourne Ballpark this year. 2 in round 1 against Geelong, Korea. And then 1 that he hit over the batter's eye. I believe that was the Brisbane series. Am I right with that?
Canberra, I think.
Canberra.
I think he was hurt for the Brisbane series.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. And then the 4th one tonight. A guy who has hit a lot of balls out of this ballpark over the last decade. Got a night off last night. Got that extra bounce in his step tonight. It's the reason the Aces lead this one. Long run for Robson. He makes the grab on the run. Well, there's a guy who just is so smooth in the outfield. Doesn't matter where you put him. He'll play left, center, and right all in the same series. We've seen that. And he's in right tonight looking like he hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah, no matter where you put him in the outfield, he's just gonna flash the leather. A really difficult play. That one almost as close of a run for the first baseman as it would have been for Robson, but he made that look really easy.
Battling the sun out there, and it was pretty much his ball the whole way. Khalil couldn't get there in time from his spot out at second, and for George, like you said, probably the closest to it, but just not a good angle for him. Check swing, appeal down to first. And say he went around. The home plate umpire, Stuart Howe, made the call there. Lattimore popped out to second his first time up. Martinez takes off. Another one popped up, but out of play foul.
That's in foul ball country in what looks like a completely full right field stand for the Aces.
Martinez not a huge stolen base threat. He only stole 4 bags in his major league career, but he has good speed. Lattimore calls for time. Lattimore, a former 4th-round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 2007. High-profile ball players, had a good career. Martinez takes off again. And the pitch was way outside. Martinez had a huge jump. He steals it easily. Tying run in scoring position now. No chance for Lavarnway behind the plate. He didn't even worry about making a throw.
And I think Martinez is just noticing that Harkin is not at all focused on the base runner. I don't know if he just wasn't expecting Martinez to steal or if he's just focusing on getting the final out of this inning. But either way, Martinez taking advantage and getting himself in scoring position.
That was definitely a stolen base off the pitcher. Harkin not too quick to the plate. Fastball on the outside corner, a called strike 3. Well, the Shark mows down the side, and he throws up another 0 on the scoreboard. 3 shutout innings for Scott Harkin, and he preserves a 1-0 Aces lead. Bottom 3 after this on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
1-0 Aces, bottom of the 3rd inning. The Aces' early lead courtesy of a Darryl George leadoff homer in the bottom of the 2nd. First pitch breaking ball right in the middle of the plate from the righty Unsworth for the Giants. And Darryl George is just not going to miss a hanger in the middle of the plate like that. The Aces looking to build off that early lead. Robson swings at the first pitch. Out to second, handled by Ward. A lot of early swingers tonight for both teams.
It must be on the scouting report for Unsworth. I mean, the George homer was on a mistake pitch. You're absolutely right, but George was just coming out swinging, and attacking the starter for the Giants. Bromson doing the same thing here, but that's something that's a lot more commonplace for him. He really likes swinging at the first pitch of at bat.
One gone and no one on for George Khalil. He doubled the center last night. Had a 2-hit day in Game 2 of the doubleheader this past Sunday in Round 8 at Sydney. He's done a lot of damage on the road this season. Khalil really coming on strong with the bat. Next one from Unsworth. Chop to the left side. Martinez handles it. Throws offline. And the first baseman, Spence, tried to make the sweep tag. But it does not work. An E6 on Martinez. The Aces have a one-out base runner.
And a good job base running by Khalil. And I think that might have been caused by Ian Walters a little bit at third base. Not clear enough communication between the shortstop and the third baseman as Walters was almost in Martinez's way, and that kind of helped cause an errant throw.
Man on first with one down. Here's the leadoff man, Burke. Takes a breaking ball down. Good stop in the dirt by January. Working out of the stretch, the pitch. Another one down. Good patient approach from Burke here. As the Giants shift him a little bit. If he wants to poke one down the third base line, it's completely open.
Yeah, the big-time lefty shift with Ian Walters almost playing where the shortstop normally would set up in the infield.
Now to go off of our conversation from earlier in the game, Josh, this is a shift that you'll see now with the rules changing, where you have two infielders on each side. The shortstop is still on the left side of the diamond, not crossing second base. You can still do that, and all four infielders in the infield. It's a modified version of what definitely got out of hand over the years with shifting.
Yeah, I mean, you'd see when lefties like Joey Gallo I think he's still on the Dodgers, when he would come up, you'd have pretty much everyone on the first base side of the field to try and prevent him from hitting something to his pull side. You'd have 5 outfielders with a shortstop and second baseman, both somewhere between right field and center field. That kind of stuff, again, as we talked about, should not be part of baseball. But something like this, a nice little shift towards lefty Burke's pull side, I don't see an issue with.
And we saw a lot of this in the South Atlantic League this past year, and really all over minor league baseball with, you can only go so far. You can only move your infielders so far back or so far over. And this is what that new look shift will look like. Payoff pitch coming to Burke. Here it is. That's outside, ball 4. Runners at first and second for the Aces. That brings up Glendenning as Melbourne looks to take advantage of the error.
And a good at bat from Chris Burke there. Not trying to do too much. Just waiting for his pitch. Wasn't really swinging at any junk. Everything he swung out was in the strike zone. Really nice, patient at bat from Burke, who we've really seen a whole lot of improvement from as the season's gone.
Just 22 years old, and I think a lot of people forget how young he is. He's been here for 6 years now. But was in his mid-teens when he debuted as an ace. He's still a very young ball player with so much room to grow. Glendenning, still young in his late 20s, but another veteran who's been around a while. Not in Melbourne, this is his first year with the Aces, but a guy who's dominated everywhere he's been.
He was a teammate with Dylan Unsworth in Perth for a couple seasons as well. So matchups like these, always really interesting between guys who have spent so much time together.
Good changeup down in the zone from Unsworth. It's 0-2 on Robbie. Khalil out at second, Burke at first. Aces threatening for more, already up 1. Unsworth really slowing the pace of this game down. Here's his 0-2. Hard hit on the ground to short. Martinez over to Ward, over to Spence, and it's an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Well, the Aces put 2 on. They do it on no hits and 1 error, and they go scoreless in the third. We've played 3 full at Melbourne Ballpark. 1-0 Aces over the Giants. Top 4 after this on Aces TV.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates a 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Scott Harkin with 3 scoreless innings to start his night. His first start as an ace, second appearance overall. He joined the team right before round 8 at Sydney. Not easy joining the team, flying across the world, meeting the team on the road, but that's what Harkin did through 2 scoreless innings in his first appearance at Sydney, through 30 pitches in that first outing. So he got his work in, and now making his first start. He is a starter. He's well stretched out, a career high in innings this season at the professional level. And he's got a 1-0 lead to work with here in the fourth. Jared Carr, Liam Spence, and Jordan McCardle, 5, 6, 7 in the Adelaide order. Another first pitch curveball from Harkin. He goes with the fastball here. It's 0-2.
Now, that's been a pretty lethal combination. Fastball looks like it's sitting in the low 90s, but that curveball with such a heavy drop just makes it look a lot harder.
This one in the dirt. It's 1-2. Well, I really like the game plan between Harkin and Lavarnway, working behind a lot of guys. I mean, so often you see first pitch fastball, and Harkin really changing things up. 1-2, flicked foul.
And that's kind of the MO of a lot of these guys who pitch to contact. Yes, they have the fastball to work with, but it's not going to come as often as you might expect. Usually a fastball is a primary pitch, and especially coming off a night with Brian Flynn, where you see a lot of his fastball, it's a good change of pace, and it's clearly paying off.
Put another K in the book. 3 for Harkin in the game. He has the leadoff man gone in the fourth.
That curveball was just filthy. Inside corner. Such a quick drop on it. And that might have even twisted up Lavarnway as Peter Moylan comes out to check on him.
I might have been looking at if the backswing from Carr got Lavarnway. Looks like he's good to go. Harkin good to go as well. He has not allowed a hit since the first. He allowed 2 singles and walked a batter in the first, but a 1-2-3 second. The only base runner in the third reached on an error.
That's what you like to see. The first inning certainly difficult, but he got out of that jam, and it's been pretty smooth sailing since. That's exactly what you want from your starter, and it certainly, pitching with a lead has to help just kind of calm him down as well.
He's retired the leadoff man in each of the first 4 innings. Seems like he's getting stronger as he's going, too. I mean, this is a guy who hadn't stepped in Melbourne Ballpark until yesterday. And then thrown right into it, gets the start tonight. Ground ball to short. Glendinning over to George, 2 gone.
That one just hit right to Glendinning at shortstop. Just a routine play, and once again, smooth sailing here for Scott Harkin, thanks to Darryl George.
Another ground ball out for Scott. 5th ground out that he's induced tonight. Keeping the ball out of the air. 2 flyouts and a pop out. Everything else on the ground. And then those 3 strikeouts. First pitch to McCardle's outside and low, 1-0. Darryl George providing some early offense for the Aces. A 1-0 lead thanks to his solo homer over the wall in left center. 1-0. Another good one from Harkin. He's really mixing those pitches too well tonight, Josh.
And I just love that curveball. He locates it so well, and it has such a quick drop so close to the plate. It makes it really difficult to pick up for these Adelaide hitters.
Aces winless against Adelaide this season, 0-5. We're going to change that tonight. They'll shift for the lefty McCardle. That one's outside. And you alluded to this earlier, Josh. The last time McCardle was up, Khalil made that play out in shallow right. Glendinning, the shortstop, is over on the second or on the first base side of second. And it won't matter anyway. Oh, another 1-2-3 inning for Scott Harkin. He's retired the last 5 batters he's faced. Another punch out, give him 4 in the game. And he throws up another 0. Headed to the bottom of the 4th after a quick break. Aces looking to extend their 1-0 lead. Keep it locked right here on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Jake Skoll, Darryl George, and Ryan Lavarnway, 3-4-5 due up for the Aces. In the bottom of the 4th inning, it's the Aces 1 and the Giants nothing. Darryl George, a solo homer. In the bottom of the 2nd, picked on the first pitch he saw from Unsworth. Cranked it over the wall. Skoll struck out swinging to end the 1st. Unsworth worked a 1-2-3 first, but it was a really productive first for the Aces, Josh. Chris Burke hit a ball to the warning track in right. Glendinning sent one deep in left center. And you just knew early that the Aces were getting good swings on Dylan Unsworth.
Well, I mean, if we've said it once, we've said it 10 times in the broadcast already. I really thought that Chris Burke hit was out. That looked like a no-doubt off-the-bat shot. And you just saw the Aces hit the ball really hard in those first 2 at-bats, and they've continued to do that.
Ground ball to second. Ward handles it. Skoll's retired for the first out of the 4th. Well, you just never know with the wind in this ballpark as Darryl George gets a chance to hit for the 2nd time. Now, I always go to the box score to see which direction the wind is blowing. A lot of times they'll say in from left, out to right, you know, whatever. Tonight it just says varies, and ain't that the truth? You just never know in Melbourne.
Well, right now it's really blowing to keep balls in because we can feel it blowing straight into the broadcast booth.
Not complaining. I do like that breeze. See if George can send another one out. First pitch from Unsworth, fastball in. Now the updated scouting report is don't throw it down the middle. George ain't going to miss that.
I think Unsworth trying to show him who's boss with that inside fastball. And that's a better pitch. That looked like a change from Unsworth, trying to fool George into chasing it, and he did.
A big cut there from Darryl. Really good crowd on hand tonight. Melbourne Ballpark packed on a really good Friday night for a ball game.
This looks like the biggest crowd we've had all year.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was impressive to see the turnout during the Canberra series in round 7, but round 9 here against Adelaide, perfect baseball weather, big series for both teams. Aces fans showing out. 1-2, make it 2-2.
Last round of the regular season, can't hold anything back.
A reminder to fans who are tuned in at home, 3 more chances to get to Melbourne Ballpark before the end of the regular season. Tomorrow night at 7, Sunday at 1, then Tuesday at 7. 2-2, George rips one out to second. It gets through the legs of Ward into right center. Tough play for Ward, who had to battle the sun out there as well. Hard hit, we'll see if it's a hit or an error. And it is an error. E4 on Nick Ward. The Aces have a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, if they call that one on Dale an error, they're going to do the same thing to Nick Ward there. Really hard hit ball, but right at the second baseman. That's a play you'd expect him to make. Errors in consecutive innings now for Adelaide.
Here's Ryan Lavarnway. Bounced to third his first time up. Takes the first pitch fastball over for a strike. It's 0-1. Big opportunity for the Aces to extend their lead. I know, Josh, we talked about in the keys to the game, score early was big. You know, Harkin doing his thing on the mound, 4 shutout innings. Definitely helped to get him some insurance.
And those insurance runs have been a little tougher to come by. It's relatively often that the Aces are the ones that score first, but it's a matter of extending that lead that has been a little bit more difficult for the Aces. They have the bats to do it. I mean, one of those big bats is up right now. We've seen 2 homers in 2 series from Ryan Lavarnway, but it's just a matter of continuing to pile on and building the way towards an easy victory.
Pops this one up right side of the diamond. One's going to drift into the seats. Nice grab by a fan over there.
I think if they give a gold glove out to fans in the stands, I think the Aces should have it. We've had a couple of nice plays.
You remember that guy from, I guess it was the round 7 series against Canberra. It was either that or round 4 against Brisbane. And, you know, it was a sky-high pop-up to that right side, and kid with the glove made a grab. We saw a couple replays and did some good analysis on that foul pop caught that night. Ryan wants time. He gets it. Now he steps back in. See what this bottom of the order can do. Middle to bottom, I should say. Lavarnway in the 5-hole. George inches closer to second with his lead. Ground ball to third. Could be 2. To second for 1. Over to first. Not in time. So Lavarnway legging it out, showing off his wheels, and he keeps the inning alive because of it.
Some big league speed from Ryan Lavarnway, but just a high chopper over to third. Good job for him to beat that out and get to first base. A little bit tough on the transfer there from Nick Ward, but always good to leg out those potential double play balls.
Here's Jared Dale. I'm feeling a big hit from Jared here. I think an extra base hit to the gap. What are you thinking, Josh?
Yeah, I can go with that.
Let's sign up for that.
Yeah, I'd enjoy that.
134 minor league games earlier this season in the Padres organization. Guy you can just pencil in the lineup every day. They talk about the best ability is availability, and That definitely the case with Dale. 124 games at High A Fort Wayne, then 10 games with AAA El Paso in the Padres system.
And to be 22 years old and playing in AAA, you have to be not just good, but also liked and respected by the organization. And that's something that Dale is here as well.
109 games at shortstop in 2022 in the minors. Played 19 games at second base, 2 at third, and even got 5 games in left field. But a primary shortstop. Here's the 2-1. Swings over and foul tips a changeup, 2-2.
Yeah, but the shortstop that the Padres have in their system, a guy like Jared Dale, a young guy, someone they want to build up to be on the major league roster. He's going to have to learn some other positions. And with his experience at third, especially in the ABL, he's done a solid job. You might see him play more at third base when he goes back to the U.S. for minor league ball.
2-2. Dale fouls it back. Here's a guy who's come on strong with the bat late in the season. 26th game of the year for Jared. The average, the OPS, the on-base percentage, it all keeps creeping up. Slapped on the ground to third, handled over there by Walters. He goes the short way to second, and the inning is over. So fielder's choice ends things here in the home half of the fourth. And after 4 full, the Aces still holding on to a 1-0 lead. I'll throw it back to Josh with the play-by-play for the top of the fifth. But first, we'll take a break on Aces TV. Break, we will throw it down live to our own Ed Wyatt. Ed, what's going on? Tell us where you're at.
Yeah, I've pretty much got the best seat in the house. Maybe not the best seat in the house. I'm actually sitting on concrete, but these are some of the best seats in the house. You've got this premier outdoor box where you can get food and drink delivered here. Plenty of great places to watch a game here at the ballpark, which is another reason why you should probably get an Aces membership if you haven't done it already. Remember, the early bird special is happening. You get next year's membership at this year's prices. So if you're at the ballpark, look for the Aces people, look for Maverick walking around, and sign yourself up, or go to melbourneaces.com.au and grab that membership. So I'm going to go back to my my other seat. I'll find that one now. Back to you guys.
Thanks for doing that for us. Well, Josh, it's been a lot of fun having Ed Wyatt back as a part of our broadcast team over the last couple home series. Always spices up the broadcast, and an infectious personality. We love that he's doing some of the live hits for us.
I definitely loved seeing him do some World Cup soccer, but I think we like him better on the Aces broadcast here. Nice to have a third member of the broadcast team. I'll be in here for the play-by-play for 5 and 6, and Scott Harkins back on the mound for the Aces. Mike, he looks pretty good in his first start with Melbourne this season.
Really impressed with Scott. I love the way he's mixing his pitches. The curveball's been extremely effective because it's not just an out pitch that he throws with 2 strikes. He's thrown it a lot for strike 1 to open an at-bat, and it has really worked.
He's going to open this inning with 8-9-1 for Adelaide. Top of the fifth, 1-0 the lead for the Aces as January goes around on that low breaker for an 0-1 count. January, the first strikeout victim of Harkin back in the second inning. He struck out looking. Now the 0-1. Fastball dots the eye in the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Really, the backup catcher is January to Anthony Kirion, 1.50 ERA. As the 0-2, cut on a miss, and there's a strike 3. 2 times January has gone down by strikes. Harkin gets a strikeout swinging, his third in the past 2 innings, and he is rolling for Melbourne.
Too easy for him right now.
Yeah, 5th K of the day for Harkin. And now comes up Ian Walters. First pitch, fastball, just missing outside, 1-0. As we've said, Mike, a tough first inning for Harkin, but he has really rebounded well and is shutting down these Adelaide hitters. The 1-0 hit on a line to George, who fields it on a bounce. He'll tag the bag for out number 2. And Harkin working quickly here, getting the first 2 down for Adelaide.
Really like to see him mixing in those 1 and 2 pitch outs in between striking guys out. The pitch count hasn't been an issue at all tonight, and part of the reason is because he's getting so many quick outs.
No one has reached base safely for Adelaide since the first inning. The only base runner was Michael Martinez, who reached on an error back in the 3rd. So 7 straight retired by Harkin, and there's a first strike to Nick Ward, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Anthony Kirion, the number 3 hitter, one of 2 hits. And Michael Martinez, the other one, but both singles back in the first. 0-1. Hit on the ground to first again. George is busy. This time he'll flip it to Harkin, and that will end the inning. For the second straight frame, the Giants go down in order. 1, 2, 3 goes Adelaide. We're at the halfway point here at Melbourne Ballpark. The Aces lead the Giants 1-0.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
Scott Harkin leading the charge in front of a very happy and full house here at Melbourne Ballpark. 1801, the crowd. Just full house here at Melbourne Ballpark, and they're being traded to a 1-0 lead for the Melbourne Aces.
I love seeing it. I mean, it's just, it brings the vibes in the ballpark up. The atmosphere here is incredible, and just seeing how many people are into this game, it's definitely contagious.
First pitch to Whitefield. He gets that swinging, rolls it down the left field line for a base hit. Whitefield will speed into second base, and he'll lead off the 5th with a stand-up double.
Is that the new guy out there? I don't recognize him.
Yeah, new player. Same name as the Aces' regular center fielder, wearing the same number as well.
He just looks so much younger.
Certainly hitting like a new guy. Well hit ball right down the line there.
It really does look like it's a new guy out there. Wow. But yeah, that's what you like to see. Turn on a fastball, really rotating the hips, and good bat speed to yank it down the third base line.
So the clean-shaven Aaron Whitefield is 1 for 2. And now Jacob Robson has a runner in scoring position as this one is sprayed into the gap in left center field, over the glove of Carr. That's going to roll towards the wall as Whitefield will keep going around third base and jog on home. Jacob Robson drives in a run with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Aces.
Yeah, something else that's contagious, hitting. You see Whitefield rip one down the line. The next pitch, Robson takes one the opposite field. Love when he's able to go to left center, and the ball, the tailing the way it did, the center fielder Carr didn't get a great read on it. And that's just a really solid piece of hitting. Take a look at the replay. Fastball in the outer half, go with it, smack it to left center. Good effort by Carr, but just wasn't able to make the play. And Whitefield took his time getting around third. He wanted to admire the work of Robson out there.
And why not? Hit off the top of Carr's glove. And Jacob Robson and Aaron Whitefield trading doubles to start the fifth. 3 hits for the Aces, all have gone extra bases. And that rolls through the glove of the third baseman into left for a base hit. Robson sprints around third. He will score. Khalil to second base, sliding in safely. 3-0 Aces. The hitting party is starting in Melbourne.
Love it. Another hard hit ball. Just take it to the pool side. Khalil, a good job picking up second after the error by Lattimore in left. Just keep the line moving. This is a true rally right here. Double, single. And we'll see what Burke can do.
Aces had 1 hit in this ball game, which was the Darryl George home run. Now they've got 4. And the last 2 of them have driven in runs. And once again, a man on second for the Aces. That's going to bring up Chris Burke. First pitch misses outside, and it's a 1-0 count to one of the hottest hitters in the Aces lineup right now.
I really like the way things played out with this lineup tonight. You know, you got Whitefield setting the table at the bottom of the order with Robson there as well.
And Burke puts this one into play. That's into left field for a base hit. Khalil rounds third. He'll go home. High throw. Nowhere near in time. Burke advanced to second on the toss. 4-0 Aces, and the crowd is loving it.
4 straight hits to start an inning. Now, this is the Aces baseball we expected all season long, breaking out late. Now, Lattimore's got to throw that ball into second to keep Burke from getting into scoring position and to keep the double play in order. He didn't really have a shot at Khalil at home, so that throw has to go to second. But the Aces taking advantage of the errors and all the keys to the game working today. You know, I came up with them, and, you know, I'm feeling good about them.
Yeah, they heard you. Take a look at how this RBI party started with that Jacob Robson double off the glove of Carr. Then Khalil, a single. Really well hit ball. Close play by Walters, but not enough. And that's going to be an error on Quincy Lattimore that moved him to second. And then this one, Chris Burke taking it the opposite way.
Really like the approaches from these Aces hitters tonight. And everybody just looks relaxed at the plate. They look like they're having fun out there. And this is what we've been looking for all season.
4 straight hits to start off the 5th inning. A mound visit to try and calm down Unsworth, but one of the best hitters in the ABL, Robbie Glendinning, will try to make it 5 straight here in the 5th. 0-1 to Glendinning, grounded into a double play his last time up. He's 0 for 2 today. But a runner in scoring position, 0-1. That one is hammered deep into left field. Lattimore going back, and he's going to make the catch on the warning track. Burke is going to try and keep it hot, and he will, sliding into third base, making the first out of the 5th inning a productive one. A nice tag and a good base running job by Chris Burke to move himself to third.
I love the aggressiveness from Burke right there. I mean, this Aces team is playing a different brand of baseball tonight. A lot of good swings and just some really good fundamental baseball. Burke knew he had a shot because of how deep that ball was in left. Took a chance. Good throw from Lattimore, but now he gets himself to third with only 1 out, and now the Giants have to bring the infield in.
Not a guy you want to bring anything in for in Jake Skoll. Usually someone you'd want to play a bit back. He hits the ball really hard, aggressive, attacking the first pitch fastball, but he's underneath it for a called strike. 0-1 to Skoll, who's 0 for 2 today. He has done his best hitting for the Aces here at Melbourne Ballpark. 0-1. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. And Skoll recorded a hit in his first 7 games with the Aces. Hitting just over 300 as he's been with Melbourne since the Brisbane series. That one is hit high in the air out to center field. It's not going to be a hit, but it should be enough to score a run. Caught by Carr. Burke's going to sprint home. The throw is offline, and Chris Burke jogs into home plate with the Aces' 5th run.
Get him on, get him over, get him in. I mean, this is really fun to see. You know, what the Aces are doing, a lot of hard hit balls, and they're manufacturing runs. And this is the first time the Aces have scored 4 runs in an inning this season. They've scored 5 runs 3 times, but a 4-run inning here and a chance for more.
So the 4th highest scoring inning of the year. Run number 4 coming on a sacrifice fly. 8th ribby of the season for former first-round pick Jake Skoll. And now it'll bring up Darryl George, who started the party in the 2nd with a solo shot. We'll see if he has another one in him here with 2 outs in the 5th, and now a 5-run lead to work with. He attacks the first pitch and hits it deep into left field. Lattimore going back on the track, and a couple steps in front of the wall, he'll reach up and make the grab. We almost had the first multi-home run game of the series and the season for Darryl George, but instead the 5th inning ends. But what an inning it was. 4 hits, start off the frame for the Aces. They bring in 4 runs and extend their lead to 5-0. Into the 6th we go. Keep with us on Aces TV.
Save that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Dan Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Our first pitching change of the ball game, and it's an interesting one. Punt 1-2-3 call to the bullpen. Takes Scott Harkin out of the game after he had a great one, and now Cody Mincy making his first appearance as a reliever for the Aces this season. He has been Melbourne's best starter this year, and he is going to try and finish this game for the Aces. And he'll do it now with a broadcast team of Josh Sperber, myself, and Ed Wyatt. Welcome into the booth, bud.
Great to be in the booth with some runs on the board, with the Aces in a pretty good position with 5 runs across the plate. What an inning that was.
4 hits, didn't leave anyone left, 1 error, and 4 runs. And now probably the most reliable arm the Aces have here in the top of the 6th inning against Michael Martinez and the Giants. The fastball misses low and in for a called strike.
Been out in the crowd, out and about, and it is just electric out there, Josh. Just goes to show you what happens when the Aces push some runs across. You know, these crowds have been big, just kind of waiting for some excitement, that Darryl George home run. You can see people standing up like they've been waiting to explode.
2-0. Missing low and in, and it's 3-0. Yeah, I mean, the first pitch of an inning, and that really kind of got the crowd started. They've stayed in a low roar since then, and just exploded during that inning with good reason. But the night is done for Scott Harkin, and as good as the bats were in that last inning, we have to talk about what a strong pitching performance he had in his debut as a starter, as Cody Mincy issues a 4-pitch walk to Michael Martinez to lead off the 6th. But back to Harkin, 74 pitches, 47 for strikes, and he's in line for the victory so far.
Yeah, and he was hit hard pretty early, right out of the box. We had 2 hits in that first inning. We thought, okay, here we go. But he really settled in and pitched beautifully.
2 hits, both singles in the first. And that leadoff walk was the first runner to reach base safely since the first inning. Martinez has reached base all 3 times now, as it's an 0-1 now to Anthony Kirion. And he reached in the third on an error. Scott Harkin, a dominant performance in his first start for the Aces. And now it's a 1-1 to Kirion, who had the last hit of the day for the Giants, that single in the first inning.
Tell you what's interesting, Josh, is looking out into right center field with all those cars parked out there. Shows you how big the crowd is.
The 1-1 hit high in the air, foul down the right field line, 1-2. Yeah, a hard hit ball might break a window.
Yeah, imagine that. Out in right center field, you park out there and someone gets hold of one and bang.
I've seen it happen.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Not yours?
Thankfully, no. No, the only time where that was really a risk was when I was in Brooklyn, but they told me where to park my car so it wouldn't get dented. But I remember when we were in Sydney having a conversation with Mick Werney, one of the, Mr. Everything really for the Aces, second in command to his dog Ace of the team.
Correct.
Showing off some couple dents in his truck. As that one's grounded through the hole, it short into left field for a base hit. 2 hits on the day for Kirion, 5 this series, and Adelaide gets a base hit for the first time since the first inning.
Yeah, you bring in a reliever, you don't want him to, we always talk about that initial walk, that leadoff walk when a new pitcher comes in. It's just such a bad way to start an inning, and now here we go with 2 men on, no outs.
And I think I've mentioned this most games this series, but the pitching coach for the Hot Rods, where I spent 2022.
Yeah, what was his
as
great
the first
name?
pick misses to Quincy Lattimore, Alberto Bastardo.
Yes.
Some minor league time under his belt as Peter Moylan now coming out to chat with Cody Mincy. You can't mention leadoff walk around Basti because he absolutely hated that, and with good reason, because it's just a bad way to start the inning.
That's
but
right.
A good start, I think, involves talking about memberships, because we're kicking off 2023 with a fantastic membership deal. Prices are going up on March 1st for the first time in 3 years, and you can save an average of $65 per membership when you sign up with early bird pricing today. Make sure to reserve your seat anywhere in the park and save big when you come to Melbourne Park this weekend and sign up with our staff. And just remember, fans, this offer is only available for a limited time. So come out, sign up now with deals starting as low as $20 per membership. Watch the Aces live and score big for 2023-2024.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
It would be, there's no better way to start the year than with an Aces membership and Aces baseball. We started the year with Aces baseball.
We did.
I'm still confused that I was calling baseball on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but I'm not complaining. The 1-1 to Lattimore misses outside, 2-1. 2 longtime pros growing at it here. Lattimore hit his 250th professional home run just a couple of weeks ago. And he's going against Cody Mincy, who has pitched just about everywhere you can think of. Multiple different countries.
Yeah, and look at their CVs or their LinkedIn pages. Just be more like a novel.
Hit a 3-1, or the 2-1 actually, misses upstairs, making it 3-1. And Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, the Atlantic League, the minor leagues. Mincy won a ring with the Aces in the last season as the 3-1 in there for a called strike. A nasty cut fastball from Mincy. Lattimore thought he loaded the bases.
He was about a third of the way down the base path when he got called back. Not so fast, my friend.
And he'll take a look there, right on the black.
I like that call.
A nasty pitch. Lattimore didn't like the call, though.
No.
Payoff coming from Mincy.
Oh, missed that one.
That one's a pretty easy ball 4. So the bases loaded, no one out here in the 6th. And something we haven't seen a lot of now, Cody Mincy in a bit of trouble, but the double play on for the Aces, and it'll have to be Jared Carr who grounds into one with the bases loaded.
You might want to replay that where I said I like that call. I'm not sure I've ever said that on air in an Aces game, to be honest with you.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
All right, we need an out here. A little double play maybe.
Loaded up for Jared Carr. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Carr, another minor league product, though. A guy in the Phillies system. Had a chance to see him in Bowling Green when the Jersey Shore Blue Claws came to town, as the fastball misses inside to even things out 1-1.
Where do they play, Jersey Shore Blue Claws? Is it in
the
North
Jersey
Jersey?
Shore. Lakewood.
Thanks. The Jersey Shore to me is south. It's Ventnor. It's
yeah,
Atlantic
they were in Lakewood for a while. I think it's the same.
Yep.
I think it's the same town, just a little bit of rebranding with a contraction. 1-2 count to Carr.
I deserved that, Josh.
Hey, if I have the chance to make a bad joke, I'm going to do it.
I like it. That was good.
Blame my father. And make sure to tell him the jokes is bad because he doesn't think they are. 1-2. Hit on the ground to second, short double play potential, and that goes away from George Khalil, and that's going to bring a second run home. Martinez scores easily, and on the air and throw by Glendenning. Anthony Kirion scores from third. So it's an E6 and a 5-2 ball game. And that is not what you wanted to see. Something that looked like a nice trade. The throw just pulled Khalil off the bag, as you see on the replay.
Yeah, we've just been talking about how things starting to go the Aces' way. Last night we were saying, we need to get those breaks. Seem to be going our way, and suddenly it shifts back here and in a little bit of trouble here.
So now the Giants have him cornered. 5 errors total in the game. 2 of them coming from the Aces, as Carr technically reaches on a fielder's choice with an error on Glendenning. Now a 1-0 to Liam Spence, who fouls this off. Poked it into the backstop, and it's a 1-1 count. Like George Khalil, Spence, an SEC product coming out of the University of Tennessee. All SEC defensive team in his final season with the Volunteers before he was drafted by the Cubs in the 5th round of the 2021 draft.
I think I got a text from my old man at some point. Hey, there's an Aussie in the College World Series. One of those when he was playing in Tennessee.
A Geelong native is Liam Spence, but surprisingly, this is his first year with the Adelaide Giants here in the ABL. Runners on the corners, nobody out. The Mincy deals the 2-1. Spence hits this one high in the air out to right field. Robson giving chase towards the foul line in foul territory, and he'll make the grab, but that's going to score a run from third base. Scoring is Quincy Lattimore, and it is now 5-3 here in the 6th.
Yeah, and a very, very tough inning for Cody Mincy, and certainly not what Peter Moylan and the Aces staff would have envisioned when they brought him in. As you said, he's been so good, but really struggling. That leadoff walk we talked about, and just a bit of bad luck with the error there. And even that ball in a position where you have to make the out, but you kind of know the run's going to score. It's a tough one.
And just one of those 3 runs will be earned for Mincy as McArdle fouls this back into the netting to make it 0-1. But now there are 2 outs. Wait, nope, still 1 out. I keep thinking that there was 1 out on that fielder's choice, but just wishful thinking, I guess.
Exactly.
But 1 runner on first base, and that's Jared Carr. He's got good speed, as now it's a called strike to McArdle, 0-2.
And I think this is one of those where you just reset, Josh, right? They've got the 3 runs across, but you've got to run, the runners aren't in scoring position. Let's get a couple outs, get out of the inning. You still got the lead.
And 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th for the Aces, proving ever so big as McArdle looks at a ball that misses low, 1-2. And that's been really the Achilles heel for the Aces. They have not been as efficient in terms of putting up insurance runs as they have in the past, but tonight they have, and they have a 2-run lead in something that could have looked very differently in a game like yesterday where they weren't getting those timely hits like they did today.
Yep.
2-2 now to McArdle. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out his last time up. Mincy deals. McArdle drills that into right field, and that could tie up the ball game.
Wow.
How quickly the tables turn. Jordan McArdle a long home run. And just like that, Adelaide gets all 5 runs back in the 6th. And we're tied up.
Innings kind of a metaphor for the season in a weird way. It's just been one of these things where, what a minute ago I was saying, what a reset, you still got the lead, bang. Just like that, it is tied, and you have to say, unfortunately, this move did not pay off. It's surprising us as well as the Aces, obviously.
And that is going to be the end of the night for Cody Mincy. Peter Moylan is going to take the ball from him. And we will have a new pitcher coming into the ball game as Jordan McArdle ties it up with a 2-run home run. His first hit of the day on the season. That is his 5th home run. And now John Kennedy will come in for the Aces in this punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Kennedy, a big lefty, like Mincy though. He can take you a long way in the ball game. Plenty of experience as a starter in his career for the Melbourne Aces.
Just 2 hits. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, 2 hits
wow.
And 2 walks for Mincy. 5 runs, 3 of them earned.
That's just a nightmare inning for anybody.
And it just 1/3 of an inning for Cody Mincy.
Wow.
Not what you come to expect for him, and now the big lefty, John Kennedy, coming up in a brand new ball game.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're right back to where we started. And that's not a good scenario for the Aces. Beautiful night, again. We've been talking about how good the weather is. It's always a little bit cooler out here, which people kind of forget. I think sometimes you're in the city somewhere in Melbourne and you're going, oh, it's 35. I don't know if I can make it to the ballpark. Get out here, it's usually 2-3 degrees cooler. And it certainly is tonight. Brought my son along, Josh, and he was like, oh, it's hot. I don't need a sweatshirt, jumper. I said, you sure do. He's got it on. He had it on from about the 4th inning. It was windy and cold up here.
I know my mom doesn't let me out of the house with a sweatshirt. Or without a sweatshirt, I should say.
You're looking resplendent in your Aces polo, which of course you can get here at the Aces store. A lot of great merchandise there. Looking out over the crowd, the party deck to your right there is the screen that's full up tonight with a good group of people. There's tonight's attendance, Josh. 1801. That is a nice crowd. It really is.
Biggest of the season, I believe.
I think you might be right. Yeah, that big Thursday night crowd during the Canberra series. But yeah, I think this might be beautiful, beautiful crowd. Let's hope the Aces can give these people something to cheer about and get this inning over with.
So it's a new ball game, and the first pitch of Kennedy's night is a soft liner to Jared Dale. 1 pitch, and now 2 outs in the inning as Ryan January is retired.
That's what you want when you come in, right? You don't want the leadoff walk. You want that swing at the first pitch, weak liner to third. That's the way to come in out of the bullpen.
So 2 gone now for Ian Walters, as that is in there for a called strike. Left on left matchup. Kennedy deals, slider blown away, 1-1. Kennedy has been used exclusively as a reliever for the Aces this year, but he has been very effective. The pitch, another slider, this one catching the inside corner, and that's a nasty pitch to make it 1-2.
Yeah, it certainly is, coming from a guy that tall as well, from the left side.
6'7" is Kennedy, as that slider bounces into LeBarnway's glove, appeal to third base, but no dice. 2-2 now to Walters, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Still looking for his first hit this series. Over the 2 games, 0 for 6 with a strikeout.
You stood next to Kennedy, haven't you? He's a big man.
A couple times.
He's huge.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So a tough inning for the Aces as the Giants bring 5 runs across, to tie this game up. They do it on 2 hits and an error and don't leave a runner on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And it is 5-5. A new ball game coming up at Melbourne Ballpark.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
A brand new ball game after that 5-run frame, and now a brand new pitcher in another punt 1-2-3 call to the bullpen. This time it's the Giants changing arms, and Austin Ross will come on for Dylan Unsworth, who is now off the hook for the loss. 5 runs on 5 hits, including that Darryl George home run, and 1 walk, 1 strikeout for the South African national. And now Ross will come on to a powerful part of the Aces lineup. 5, 6, and 7 here in the 6th, beginning with Ryan Lavarnway.
What a roller coaster ride for Unsworth, right? Suddenly looks like he's going to lose this thing big, and then the game's tied just like that. As he said, off the hook.
And again, with Cody Mincy coming on, a guy who has been so just a lock and key, really.
Yeah.
But now Lavarnway will lead off the 6th. A called strike to him as the breaking ball settles over. Lavarnway's 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. But he has had a nice start to his Aces career. A home run in each of his first 2 series, joining the team prior to New Year's Eve against Canberra, as Lavarnway swings and misses, 0-2.
Philosophy major at Yale. It'll be interesting to talk with him about this season. And he hasn't been around there that long, but just his impressions, given that he's a thoughtful, interesting guy.
I think if you haven't yet, just talk to him about baseball. He's got tons of stories.
Does he?
And his perspective on the game is truly fascinating. 0-2. Lavarnway lets the fastball go upstairs, and it's 1-2.
He's obviously something special, right?
A guy who has been around, to say the least. Picked out of the Ivy League, so rare to do. Still the Ivy League's home run leader with 33 in his 4 years in New Haven, Connecticut, as Ross deals the 1-2. And that's a called strike 3 to Lavarnway, who's going to head to the dugout. So we'll talk more about his long professional career in the next at bat. First strikeout in the first batter for Ross, and that'll bring up Jared Dale. Dale 0 for 2, also grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th, but that ended the inning. First pitch, fastball inside, and it's 1-0.
A couple of double plays tonight that have hurt the Aces. Seem to rebound from that with that big inning, but Adelaide strike back. They're a good club, Adelaide, obviously, 21-12.
The 1-0 misses outside, 2-0. And I mean, that's what good teams do. They face adversity and they overcome it. That's what Adelaide has done all year.
Yep.
We've already seen a comeback win by the Giants over the Aces back when the team was in Adelaide, as Dale pops this one up behind home plate, and that is going to hit the roof at some point. There it is. Ed almost caught that.
I would have. If we didn't have a roof on this, I was ready. A couple of great crowd catches during this series. One yesterday, really nice. Yeah. Good reactive one as well.
We were talking earlier, if there's a gold glove for fan bases, I think the Aces would get it. We've seen a bunch of really nice plays.
I would agree with that. Seen that over the years as well.
2-1 to Dale. Breaking ball, just catching the inside corner, 2-2. Ross, 6 years the senior of Jared Dale. He's 28 years old in his second season with Adelaide. And if he finishes this inning, he will set a new single season high with 11 innings in a season, all coming out of the bullpen in his 16th ABL appearance, both years with Adelaide. 2-2, foul.
That one was headed back towards my car parked out there. Every time it looks in that weird, there's that one direction where you kind of worry for a second. I've been coming here for what, 8, 9 years. Every time I walk to get into my car after broadcast, there's just always that weird moment. Did a ball hit my car?
Well, let's hope it's another day where you don't see a baseball in your passenger seat.
I've been very lucky.
2-2. Dale sprays this into right field. That's going to drift foul and out of play.
Drifting out by the All-Star Bar down there, which was packed tonight, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely packed. And the line for the free popcorn was almost as long as the parking line for people coming in.
Well, as soon as Harkin got that strikeout in the third inning, I just saw a sea of people in the bottom of the concourse there sprinting over to the popcorn.
Indeed.
1 out and a 2-2 to Dale, who hits that on the ground, foul again. 3 two-strike pitches fouled off by the Aces' third baseman.
Talking to a few people in the crowd, a couple guys from Brisbane who have been, this is like their third game of the weekend, I think, or second, and they're going to a couple more going. It's a baseball ABL weekend. They're going to Canberra. I think they've been to somewhere in Brisbane, maybe. No, they end up in Brisbane.
2-2. Just missing outside, and Dale works the count full. Trying to see, one game from each series or something?
That's what they were trying to do. Rob Novotny was filling me in on the details, and you know Rob sometimes a little hazy. I wasn't quite sure what he was saying, but they're definitely doing, I'm just kidding about Rob, by the way. They're definitely doing a weekend where they're trying to see games in at least 3 cities.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Full count to Dale, and now it's ball 4. So the go-ahead run is on first here in the bottom of the 6th inning in the form of the speedy Jared Dale. And this is where things got interesting in that 5th, where Aaron Whitefield will come up with a man on first base and 1 out.
Yep.
And Whitefield and Dale have quite a connection when it comes to their jersey, because as many of you Aces fans know, the number 2 jersey that Whitefield wears was worn by Dale for quite a long time. And Whitefield bought the number off of his fellow national team teammate as number 2, the number he wears over across the pond.
Do you know what sort of dollar figure it was? Or can't we say?
Oh, it wasn't. I don't know if we can say it.
Probably not. But do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not as crazy as some of the ones I've heard in like the NFL or something like that, where guys are spending like $30,000 a number. Sprayed into right field by Whitefield, and it's an easy catch for McArdle. 2 gone now in the 6th.
Yeah, that's one of those things I guess a lot of people wouldn't know about, the fact that you might want a number, someone has it. You actually make them an offer and buy it off them. There you go. There's a great shot of kids getting ready to do that run.
Yeah.
I saw Justin Huber. Remember, he ran last night, and I told him that I owned up to my comments that he didn't have big league speed or whatever I said.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I saw him is because our Sportscast Australia crew, put the slow-mo cam on. Otherwise, he would have been too fast.
He didn't need a slow-mo cam. What are we doing wasting the slow-mo cam on it?
And I hear someone stomping angrily up the
He's too busy looking around at all the cars parked here in this incredible night. 1,801, was it?
Yeah.
1,801. I think that one is standing behind me in the booth.
0-1 to Robson. Cuts on and misses a breaking ball, 0-2. He had the first RBI of that 5th inning. The first 2 pitches turned into doubles off of Dylan Unsworth in the 5th. Robson, the Canadian international, another guy with some major league experience, has left field open with the shift over to his pull side, as no one on third base with Walter shifted more towards short. 0-2, 2 outs. The pitch. Fastball upstairs, 1-2.
Also a huge gap left center field.
Yeah.
Massive. If you'd get one over that shortstop's head, that would be certainly extra bases.
And we have seen Robson hit the ball the opposite way quite a bit. And a ball in that left center field gap might give the Aces the lead back in this one. But the 1-2. Called strike 3. That looked like it was a bit outside, but it's the second strikeout of the inning for Austin Ross. So the Aces leave the go-ahead runner on board. No runs, no hits, and 1 left in the 6th inning. Ed's going to stay in the booth, but I'm going to step out for Aussie Mike as we head into the 7th. 5-5 the score here on Aces TV.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
John Kennedy back to work. In the top of the 7th, he took over for Cody Mincy and got the final 2 outs of the 6th. 5 shutout frames for Scott Harkin tonight. Cody Mincy a rough outing in his first relief outing of the season, with John Kennedy on to try to keep this a 5-5 game. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Aussie Mike back with you in the booth. Ed Wyatt sticking around. Ed, a tough inning for the Aces, but all you can ask for now is for John to limit the damage and keep this a tie game, and the Aces get the bats back going in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, we're right back where we started, back to ground zero, which is unfortunate after the Aces had that great lead built. But as Josh and I talked about, Adelaide a very, very resilient team, if you will, and a good team. So you expect nothing less from them. First pitch is a ball to Nick Ward.
So back to the top of the Adelaide order. Ward's the guy who puts the ball in play. Here's a throw from Glendinning over to first. George held the bag. And 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th for Kennedy.
George is going to need a little yoga or a little one of those guns, I think, after that big stretch there. That'll get the hamstring going as we're watching the replay. Watch this stretch. He's got to really lean.
Yeah, he'll feel that tomorrow. Well, he was getting his pregame stretches in today, and looking limber out there.
He was, actually. I noticed that. Yeah, so it came in handy.
I noticed after the home run, the home run trot. Now everybody's feeling good on a home run trot, but he looked like he had a little extra bounce in his step coming around the bases. And Yeah, that's good to see from Darryl.
He certainly did, and as I said this to Josh, the crowd, I was sitting out in the crowd, there were so many people that just exhilarated that he hit that over the fence. So pumped.
The Aces led this one 1-0 after the George homer earlier in the game. They extended their lead to 5-0 with a 4-run bottom of the 5th. Aaron Whitefield doubled down the left field line to start it up. On the next pitch, Jacob Robson doubled to deep left center. George Khalil and Chris Burke brought home runs with singles, and Jake Skoll added a sac fly, but Adelaide got all 5 back in the top of the 6th.
Got all 5 back on just 2 hits. Obviously, one of them was a home run, but we had 2 walks and an error in that sac fly. So 5 runs on 2 hits.
Not ideal, but this is an Aces team that is swinging good bats tonight. No reason they can't put up another 5 spot.
Correct.
But nonetheless, I mean, even though the 5-0 lead was erased, this is really encouraging to see this Aces team swinging the bats the way they are.
Yeah, exactly right, especially in front of a big crowd. And it's the thing we talk about. You know, you get people out to the ballpark, you want them to come back, and they come back by seeing good baseball, whether it's a pitcher's duel or a lot of hits.
Line drive into left center, another hit from Michael Martinez.
I didn't mean for Michael Martinez to take that literally when I said come out here and take a lot of,
No, we didn't need
see
that.
a lot of hits.
Former major leaguer doing his thing.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about this crowd, Ed, and you might have touched on it when last inning with Josh, but this is the biggest crowd that I've seen. You know, my first year in Melbourne, every time I see a bigger crowd, it's the biggest that I've seen. But this is pretty cool to see. I mean, every row of the stadium is packed with people.
You should have seen the crowd, the cars coming in. There was a line out. It could be double play here.
Dale over to Khalil, over to George. It is an inning-ending double play. Well, we'll continue that conversation in the next half inning, Ed. Kennedy faces the minimum in the 7th, not a 1-2-3 inning, but he keeps the Giants off the board. 5-5 going to home half of the 7th. Time to stretch at Melbourne Ballpark. Keep it locked on Aces TV. For over 45 years, Hobson's Bay Dental has delivered the best results through continually updating their skills and technology. Dr. Andrews and his team also take great pride in treating patients like family. Melbourne Aces players trust their teeth with Hobson's Bay Dental, and you should too. Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join BNI for professional development, networking opportunities, and to increase business prospects. Find your local BNI chapter to tap into a wealth of resources and to join a winning team. New Era Technology provides specialized IT solutions for your business around internet and voice communications, managed services, as well as secure cloud hosting for data and software. Trusted by the Aces, New Era has an extensive team of engineers and sales professionals who provide hands-on collaboration that is backed by deep industry training. We got some fans jamming out to the YMCA at Melbourne Ballpark. Home half of the 7th about to get underway. Aussie Mike and Ed Wyatt with you in the booth. Josh will be back in for the next half inning. A quick top of the 7th for John Kennedy. Ed, he looked really good out there. Now the Aces a chance to regain that lead.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And we were talking before this about the crowd. You can see these great shots there. A lot of families, a lot of people having a really good time. 1,801 is the attendance. The parking lot absolutely jammed, which is why you can see the cars out in right field. That's sort of the overflow parking, which you don't see here that often. And when you do, you know it's something special. And there it is. There's a number again. 1801. Wonder who that one person is.
Should give him a prize.
Yeah,
just for
exactly.
being that one standout.
Yes.
Get him some free Aces gear or something.
Just pick someone out of the crowd. You're the 1801st person. Here you go. Have a T-shirt.
George Khalil, Chris Burke, Robbie Glendinning, 9-1-2 due up for the Aces. Looking to regain this lead.
Khalil's been on twice tonight, a hit and an error.
He continues to produce at the bottom of this order. Hitting the ball hard, too.
Sort of finding his feet, isn't he?
Absolutely, and we knew he could pick it with the glove. He rips one down the left field line into the corner. Khalil, a big turnaround first. He's headed for second. It's a leadoff two-bagger with swagger for George Khalil, and the Aces have the go-ahead run in scoring possession with no outs.
That was an interesting one too, Mike, because there might have been a play at second, but Nick Ward had come way over and was sort of past the bag, so there was nobody covering second. I don't know if we'll see it on this. We may not, but you can see where Ward is, so there's no one on the bag in case there was a play, and the throw wasn't, it wasn't like there was a no-chancer.
Right.
Interesting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We got a man on second.
Yeah, and that's really the theme is, can you take advantage of the other team's mistakes?
Yep.
Adelaide did in the inning where they put up 5 runs, taking advantage of the error. And now the Aces potentially taking advantage. Now, like you said, maybe Khalil gets there anyway. But the Aces took advantage of a couple misplays earlier in the game.
Yep.
Lattimore, an error in left, an overthrow by Lattimore. 5-5 our score, home half of the 7th. Burke rips one down the right field line, but that's foul.
Just foul is the first hit given up by Austin Ross, who came on in relief of Dylan Unsworth.
Both starters went 5. Different stories. Scott Harkin, 5 shutout frames with 5 strikeouts. He allowed 2 first-inning hits, but no hits over his final 4 innings. Unsworth was hit pretty hard early and often. Gave up 5 runs all earned in 5 innings, including a home run.
Oof, that's a good pitch.
Ross out of the bullpen for Adelaide, though. He's been good.
Burke had no chance on that one. Just a really lovely off-speed pitch.
Yeah, there's some pitches that are just unhittable up there.
Yeah.
They're strikes, but you just can't get your bat around on them. January wants a high and outside fastball. He gets it, but time is called. The home plate umpire, Stuart House, stepped out from behind home plate. So we'll reset there on 0-2.
Realized he hadn't been on TV enough, so just thought he'd call a little timeout. Stewie, hey, I'm still here.
Got to get your airtime when you can get it, Ed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know as well as anybody. You take advantage of that screen time. 0-2 to Chris, that's down. Well, I mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, Ed. I mean, Chris is a 6-year veteran here in the ABL, but it's easy to forget that he's only 22 years old and still coming into his own as a player.
That's a great point. That is a really good point with some of these guys that do start young.
I mean, Burke and Dale, the two who have been here quite a while, but they're still in their early 20s. 1-2, tried to check his swing. Looked like he went around, and he did, according to the home plate the third base umpire, Neil Medlin.
Yep.
Burke down on strikes for out number 1 in the 7th. Here's Glendinning.
Third strikeout for Ross.
Well, this is a key inning for the Aces. You get the leadoff double. Khalil still out there with 1 out now. See if Robbie, who's 0 for 3 tonight, can get something going. You talked about all the big hits that you've seen him come up with in a Perth Heat uniform.
Yeah, that's right.
He's had his fair share this year with the Aces, but this would really be a big one here in a tie game. The Aces fighting for their playoff lives, looking to stave off elimination. A look at second, 0-1 to Glendinning. He fouls it back.
Well, you can't defeat math, can you? So at some point, the mathematical thing takes over. So the Aces just have to keep winning and then hope that we get some favors from the others.
Yeah, this is a team that looked over the first 5 innings. They're just playing loose. They're having fun.
Yeah.
Easy going out there, and the hits started piling up. Glendinning ready for the 0-2. Khalil a modest lead out at second. Aces led 5-0. Adelaide put up 5 in the top of the 6th to tie things up. 0-2 to Robbie, that's outside.
Yeah, it's those timely hits and those things we were talking about yesterday, those things that when you're rolling that keep happening, the good things. Now would be a good time for that.
The Aces started the home half of the 5th with 4 straight hits. See if they can get back and add another rally. Glendinning spoils a breaking ball. But
staying alive.
But it was such a fun fifth inning to see because they just kept stringing them together. And that's, good teams put those rallies together and they continue to manufacture runs. That's what the Aces were able to do. Another opportunity to do it. And not only to get men on base, but to bring them home. And that's something the Aces had struggled with earlier in the year.
And you could sense it, Mike, in the crowd. You really could. People were really fired up.
See if Glendinning can give the crowd something else to cheer about. Well, right now he's just wasting baseballs, sending them into the parking lot, not even sending them into the stands. We got 1,800. At least put one in the seats.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have a word with him after this.
Somebody might have one, next to their front tire after the game out there. As long as they don't have it in the windshield.
That's exactly right.
We'll do the 1-2 again. Here it is.
There it is again.
Another one in the parking lot.
What if it lands on the bonnet? Do you know what that means?
Nah, I'm not familiar with that term.
That's a hood.
A hood.
Is the bonnet.
So
what
a bonnet.
you would call a hood.
Okay.
Bonnet. Yeah.
So the bonnet of a car.
Yeah.
All right.
There you
I like
go.
it. I like it. There are a ton of Australian terms that I hear them, and I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of them make sense.
A lot of them don't.
Bonnet, not as much, but there's a lot of Australian terms that I'm like, that just makes more sense than what we say in the States. Fastball high to Glendinning. It's 2-2.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, if you're here for a long time, you kind of learn the ones you can get away with and ones you can't with an American accent. Some work okay, some don't.
Yeah.
Some you just leave to the Aussies like you're not trying too hard.
Yeah, there's certain phrases that when I say it, it feels natural. Others where I'm like, that's not for me. 3-2 now in Glendinning. So, for example, I love saying too easy. I like that.
Great.
I like mixing that in. That's a great phrase. I like
Agreed.
using it. How you going? It just doesn't flow for me. I'm so used to how you doing or how's it going.
Yeah.
But how you going doesn't have that flow for me.
I can't do it either, and I've been here 20 years.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss.
Such a good battle there from Glendinning. It's a shame to see it end like that.
2 outs now for Jake Skoll. We'll see if he can get the go-ahead run in. Well, Glendinning sees the ball so well at the plate. He got a tough breaking ball low and away.
He did.
Try to make something happen with there.
He did. It was a heck of an at-bat, to be honest, after falling behind.
So here's Skoll, who's rocking the mustache tonight. Aaron Whitefield, a guy who shaved his beard, looks like a different person. Skoll with the beard and the soul patch below it looks like a different person too. Who are these guys?
Is that one of these let's change it up as we try and get a win here?
I guess. I guess that's what it is. I was thinking about changing it up myself. Maybe bring some better vibes up to the broadcast booth.
I was just literally going to broach that subject. If maybe you and Josh would think about that, dyeing the hair, or
I don't know about dyeing the hair, but I actually, I've got the flow going in the back right now. I want to keep that going. I'm thinking about trimming the sides down a little bit, maybe get a little mullet action going.
Yeah, it's big here. Not sure anywhere else in the world, but it's big here.
Yeah, so I figure maybe now's the time to try it. Big rip at a 1-1 fastball. It's 1-2.
I knew it was big here and nowhere else when I watched the World Cup, and virtually no one on any of the teams other than Australia had that haircut. I'm like, if world footballers aren't doing it, then it's probably only limited to here.
Yeah. I think I could rock it, though.
I agree. I think you could get away with it.
I might pull the trigger on it.
I like it.
Yeah. 1-2 to Skoll. Fastball just off the plate. Good take there.
It sure was.
Some good eyes.
Wow. Better than mine. I think I would have swung at that.
Yeah, that's a pitcher's pitch right there. And Skoll, knew it was off the plate. Good take. Home half of the 7th. The Aces looking to break a 5-5 tie. Khalil out at second. He's been there a while. Check swing, appeal, no swing, and Skoll stays alive.
Another full count.
A little modified lefty shift for Skoll here. The shortstop Martinez shaded up the middle. The third baseman Walters way off the line. Big hole between short and third. Big hole between where the shortstop and second baseman are playing as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in a tie game. Pitch from Ross. Skoll just gets a piece of it and stays alive.
He's fighting the way Glendinning did as well. Previous batter also worked a 3-2 count. ultimately struck out.
Skoll steps back in that lefty batter's box, ready to hit. He drove in a run with a sac fly his last time up. He's 0 for 2. The payoff pitch again. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher, January, and the inning is over. So Khalil doubles to start the frame, but Burke, Glendinning, and Skoll go down on strikes. We're tied after 7 full in Melbourne. 5-5 our score. We'll have Josh back in the booth. Ed, appreciate you taking a couple innings to join us once again.
See you tomorrow.
Absolutely, looking forward to it. Josh will be back in the booth. I'll slide over back to my chair. Ed will exit my chair. We'll do a quick rotation here in the booth, but we'll be back right after this on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
New pitcher for the Melbourne Aces on the mound, Matt Beattie.
Another beautiful sunset here at Melbourne Ballpark. We're pretty much used to that every night. It's just such a picturesque sky off in the distance. We welcome you back inside our broadcast booth, Aussie Mike and Josh Sperber. It's a punt 1-2-3 pitching change for the Aces as they bring on right-hander Matt Beattie, who has been so good lately for this Aces team. 5-5 our score, top 8, and Beattie, another guy who shaved the beard, as he and Aaron Whitefield going clean-shaven late in the season. Beattie's first pitch of the night. So Quincy Lattimore is up and in for a ball 1-0.
And Beattie just gave up that one home run to Cole Roeder against Canberra, but other than that, he has been lights out. Good breaking stuff, a fastball that reaches probably mid to high 90s. He's looked really good coming out of the pen for Melbourne.
Well, since he allowed that home run to Roederer in the Canberra series in his first outing of the season, no one's reached base against Beattie. He had 3 perfect innings in his second outing of the season, also in that Canberra series, and then solid outing in Sydney as well. And he needs just 4 pitches to pick up a strikeout here to start the 8th. Nasty breaking ball in the outer half, and Lattimore chased. Beattie enters this game, no record, a 1.50 ERA through 4 appearances, 6 innings of work, 1 run on 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, now 8, and no walks. Impressive numbers for the 23-year-old.
And he's just not a guy you think is as young as he is. A lot of potential for him, and a really good pitch mix, and a really, really good command. He might have the best control of this Aces bullpen.
Just locked in right now. He's throwing hard, and he's healthy. That's the biggest thing.
He was sorely missed in the beginning of the season, but as we've said, he has really come back strong.
I mean, making his presence felt, and you know, to be able to deploy him as a late inning reliever this late in the season after not pitching all year, that's such a luxury for Peter Moylan at the back end of his pen. 2-1 from Beatty. Fastball just missed.
It's hard to have kind of a guaranteed out, but Beatty's about as close to it as you're going to get. He just comes in and he gets the job done. A guy who may be the closer for the Aces next season if he returns.
Hot shot out to second, but the vacuum George Khalil is over there. He makes the play. 4-3 on the putout, 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, you just expect balls hit to George Khalil to be turned really quickly and just turned right into an out. He has got such a good glove over at second base.
That brings up Liam Spence with 2 gone and no one on. Beatty looking for another 1-2-3 inning. If he can get Spence here, it'll be his 6th straight 1-2-3 inning over his last 4 outings.
His last outing, that 3-inning affair, retiring all 9. Him and Jeremy Young's appearance last night have to be up there for the best relief performances of the season for Melbourne.
And there have been a handful. And the bullpen for the Aces has been really good this season. Coming into this game, Aces relievers had combined for a 3.73 ERA in 108 2/3 innings. Now, of course, the Giants did get 5 runs off Cody Mincy tonight pitching in relief, but not all of those runs were earned. Kennedy and Beatty settling things down. Tap foul, count stays 1-2. Two-out pitch coming up to Liam Spence. Here it is. Hard hit ground ball to short, but Glendinning has it. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Beatty. He shuts the door down in the top of the 8th. And now the Aces with another chance to regain the lead in the bottom half. We'll go there next. 5-5 our score. Melbourne and Adelaide going at it on a Friday night at Melbourne Ballpark. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
Watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Bottom of the 8th at Melbourne Ballpark. 5-5 our score. It's the Aces and Giants in Game 2 of a 4-game set. The Aces led 5-0. The Giants got all 5 back in the 6th. And here we are in the bottom of the 8th. Josh, the Aces hoping that this is their last turn to bat tonight.
I certainly hope so, too. They'll do it in a new pitcher in a punt 1-2-3 call to the bullpen. Adam McKilligan coming on for Adelaide. And the Aces hoping to jump on a new reliever after a solid 2 innings from Austin Ross.
Well, it was the Adelaide bullpen that really shut down the Aces during the round 3 series at Adelaide. McKillican was a big part of that series. He was really good. Saved a game in that 4-game sweep for Adelaide, and the Aces saw quite a bit of him and Todd Van Steensel out of the back end of that Adelaide bullpen. So the Giants deploying their best relievers late in the game in a tie game. Didn't need them last night. They led early, and they kept it going, a 7-0 win as they cruised to the dub to clinch a playoff spot. Brisbane clinched a playoff spot a few days ago. Adelaide clinched last night. If the Aces lose tonight, the Perth Heat will officially clinch a playoff spot. They won their game in Canberra earlier this evening. Darryl George, Ryan Lavarnway, and Jared Dale, 4-5-6 due up for the Aces. Well, the Perth game is not over yet. 6-3 in the 7th. Now it's 6-6. Wow.
Well, their scores are behind.
So I was looking at the wrong box score earlier, so that game is far from over. I must have had yesterday's box score pulled up.
I think it just took a while to update. Because the last I looked, it was 6-3 in the bottom 7th, but Canberra hanging 3 runs in the bottom of that 7th inning on Perth, thanks to Robbie Perkins, a 3-run shot. That must have just happened.
Well, that helps the Aces, a chance to stay alive for an extra day if Canberra wins that game. George goes down on strikes.
4 straight strikeouts now by the Adelaide bullpen, but a big part of the Aces lineup trying to turn things back in their favor. Adelaide still is yet to lead. The Aces have led for a little more than half of the ballgame.
The Aces bullpen keeping this a tie game, making sure the offense has a chance to go ahead in the bottom of the 8th. John Kennedy and Matt Beattie doing the job. Now Ryan Lavarnway will hit count 0-1 after the foul ball liner. Lavarnway back behind the dish tonight. Recent addition to the Aces lineup. He joined the team for round 7 at Canberra. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Looking to get the better of McKillican here. A 1 inside. It's 1-1.
And keep an eye down that left field line. A surprising amount of space that Lattimore is leaving Lavarnway. He is certainly a pull hitter.
Pitch from McKillican, ripped foul again. So Lavarnway's on it, but just a little ahead.
He's not a guy who's going to play hero ball. He's never a guy who looks to hit the home run. He just has that natural power. And you can tell because every time he hits that ball, he really hits it hard.
.420 ERA from McKillican in 12 games this season. 19 strikeouts and only 1 walk, so an excellent ratio there. Another deep fly ball off the bat of Lavarnway. McKillican has 4 wins. He's 4-0 in 15 innings of work. Canadian native, he's 6'5", 25 years old. He pitched in 3 of the 4 games against the Aces in round 3.
I liked his at-bat from Lavarnway. That was a really defensive swing, but when he's been able to get the barrel on the ball, he has hit it hard, just kind of zeroing in timing-wise.
Another 1-2, and another foul ball down the third base line. A little bit of a breeze in the ballpark right now. We'll see if Lavarnway can get one up in the air and let the wind do the rest.
The breeze kind of blowing in towards the broadcast booth, offsetting the humidity a little bit.
It feels good up here right now. I'm loving it.
Wish it was like that all day. It was boiling at the start of the day.
Lavarnway looking to do some damage. Goes down on strikes here, though. 5 straight punch-outs for the Adelaide bullpen. And that is 8 strikeouts overall for this Giants pitching staff. And it's kind of shocking to see 8 strikeouts on the Aces side of the scorecard because Dylan Unsworth struck out just 1 in 5 innings. So 7 of those 8 strikeouts have come over the last 3 frames. 2 gone and no one on. Here's Jared Dale.
Dale now one of the guys with a strikeout. Did reach on a walk in the 6th. But not really that aggressive on the base paths when he was able to get on base. You'd like to see, particularly this late stage in the game, the Aces backs against the wall on the season. You'd like to see them, if they get someone on, try and steal a base.
Well, that'll do it. An infield single for Dale. Martinez picked it on the backhand out at short, but no chance. So he eats it. Dale's aboard with his first hit of the night, second time reaching base. That brings up Aaron Whitefield, the beardless Aaron Whitefield, with the go-ahead run at first.
Dale on for the second straight time. Again, I'd like to see him try to steal second base. I know there's 2 outs. That's usually not when you try and get risky, but, I mean, this is the do-or-die portion of the season. The Aces have no choice but to just try and manufacture a run and then let their bullpen do the rest in the 9th.
Whitefield chases a breaking ball low and away. Dale's 3 for 4 in the stolen base department this year. Well, if he does go and he's successful, it would put the go-ahead run in scoring position. Short lead for him right now, though. 0-1, Whitefield takes a strike. It's 0-2. I think now, now on 0-2 with 2 outs, really no harm if you get thrown out. Whitefield gets to reset with a new count next inning.
Whitefield, Robson, and Khalil leading off the 9th.
Chopper to short, Martinez to Ward, and the fielder's choice ends the inning. After 8 full, we're still tied. Didn't expect that tonight the way that things were going, but here we are. We'll head to the top of the 9th after a quick break, and Josh will take back over on the play-by-play on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Top of the 9th inning. Tension in the crowd. A near full house here at Melbourne Ballpark, over 1,800 strong, cheering on the Aces as we are in a tie ball game in the 9th. Aces and Giants 5 runs apiece, 7 hits to 5 in terms of the Aces Giants hits comparison, and one of the most dependable arms coming out of the bullpen in a punt 1-2-3 pitching change with Evan Rutsky coming in for the Melbourne Aces to face 7, 8, and 9 for Adelaide.
A lot of weapons in this Aces bullpen. Rutsky pitches in a lot of big spots. The guy you trust in this spot with the lefties in the order to get them out. And, the best case scenario, get a 0 up on the scoreboard, get the Aces back in the dugout, walk it off in the bottom half.
For Rutsky, his 13th appearance of the season, leads all Aces pitchers. He has been primarily using the back end of the bullpen. 2-1 his record. 11 hits allowed, 18 strikeouts, just 4 walks. And this is where he is most used, just to try and keep the Aces in the ball game or look for a save. As the first pitch to McArdle's a nasty breaking ball in there for a called strike. Lefty on lefty, as Rutsky, one of the hardest workers on this Aces squad, deals the 1-1. Another breaking ball. This one misses outside, 1-1. A guy who you'll find at the gym about 90% of the time.
Yeah, 100%.
5-pitch mix for the lefty out of Windsor, Ontario. 4-seam and a 2-seam curve, splitter, and a change. The 1-1 to McArdle. Nasty breaking ball, just missing inside, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It fooled McArdle. There's no call.
I was going to say, I'm not sure where that missed. And we'll take another look here.
Yeah, I think the only thing there is that the home plate umpire just kind of gave up on it. Stuart Howe probably thought, oh, this one's going to cross high.
Just so much movement on the curve. There's another one. That settles over the outside corner for a called strike 2.
Because a lot of Rutsky's curveballs, when it snaps out of his hand, it looks like it's a ball. But, you have to look it in the entire way, and that one looked good.
2-2. Just missing low, and the count's full to McArdle, who tied up the game in his last at bat in the 6th with a 2-run homer. Another look at this curve from Rutsky. Sweeping, looping, like anything you can call a curveball can be applied to his. Full count. Here's the payoff. The curve, weakly tap back to the mound. Rutsky's going to go behind the mound to get it, and a quick throw to first for out number 1. Deceptively difficult play for Evan Rutsky, but he fields the position to get the first out of the 9th.
Yeah, really nice play right there because he's falling off the mound to the third base side. As we take a look at the replay, curveball, snap that out of his hand, and then he has to change his direction, go back and get that because there's no chance for the second baseman Khalil. He's playing back. And then Darryl George handling a hot shot over there.
Yeah, keep in mind, Khalil was in right field in that play on the overshift. So Rutsky had to do it all. Big strides of his 6'5" frame, getting himself in position to make the play for a crucial first out. He'll face off now against Ryan January, another lefty. So a good decision by Moylan to put the lefty in.
Yeah, Moylan's done a good job picking the spots for his relievers tonight. Going with Rutsky in a spot where he's got 3 lefties there. That's the perfect spot to deploy one of your best relievers.
1-0, called strike. That curveball's been his number 1 pitch tonight, and it has been working for him.
And even before that, he brought in his stopper, Matt Beattie, to get through the middle of the order, 4, 5, 6, and he did it 1, 2, 3.
As he's done in his last 6 innings of work prior, so 21 straight outs for Matt Beattie. 1-1. Hit the other way, high, far, foul. A 1-2 now to January, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in his first game of the series. Rutsky, picked by the Yankees back in 2010. Spent 8 years in their minor league system. as the 1-2 curve misses low to make it 2-2.
You know, Josh, already looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth. Now, got to get these 2 outs first, but the Aces have Robson to lead off, and I really like that. He's a guy in the 8-hole, can play that leadoff role as well.
2-2. Hard hit ball, foul again.
So you get Robson due up to start the inning, a guy who is a perfect table setter, especially in this situation. You know, he's got good speed on the bases. If he gets on, you know, you can run with him. You can butt him over with Khalil. A lot of things you can do. Ace is in good shape if they can put a 0 on the scoreboard here.
And Robson was moved to the leadoff role a couple series ago and really experienced a late season resurgence. Batting average going up 2 points to get from 235 to 250, 260 range. 2-2. Another ball chopped foul. So, yeah, I agree with you. I do like him leading off, and that might be part of the reason behind that lineup shuffle from Peter Moylan. We'll see if it pays off, but Rutsky needs to get out of this inning unscathed. Nobody on, 1 out, and a 2-2 count to the Giants catcher in Ryan January. A pause from Rutsky from the stretch, deals. Fastball called, strike 3. Freezing January, which is more common in the States.
Yeah.
But 2 gone here in Australia in the ninth.
We're used to some pretty freezing Januaries back home. I love that. That's awesome. That's a case where I think January might have been looking breaking ball, expecting that hammer curveball. I think it's a fastball in the outer half, big pitch. Now the pitch count creeping up for Rutsky. The Aces have been using him for multiple innings a lot lately. You know, if he can get a quick out here, he's got a shot to come back out for the 10th if needed.
Ian Walters, third consecutive lefty for Rutsky, takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Also looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 7 in 2 games here in Melbourne. 2 outs, 8-9 and 1 due for the Aces in the bottom of the ninth, a 5-5 ball game. Rutsky deals. Swing and a miss. The fastball makes it 1-1. And a lot of deception on that curveball. It makes the fastball a lot more difficult to pick up.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, you know, the movement, you know, just that hard fastball, you know, the outer half to lefties, but that breaking ball that comes back in the inner half really changes the eye level, and you know, the fastball speeds up the bat, the breaking ball, you know, getting guys out in front.
It's a 2-1 now as that fastball missed low. Might have even been the splitter from Rutsky. Now the 2-1. Hard line drive over the head of Khalil into right for a 2-out base hit. Walters gets his first hit of the evening, and that'll reset the lineup card for Adelaide. The dangerous Nick Ward with the go-ahead run on first here in the ninth.
They've kept Ward quiet tonight. He's 0 for 4. Be nice if they could throw him up an 0 for 5 in the scorebook.
Yeah, if the game goes to extras, Nick Ward certainly not a guy you want coming up to the plate. So Rutsky will want to eliminate him here. 2 gone, runner on first, 2 outs in the ninth. First pitch to Ward in there for a called strike. As you mentioned, Mike, Ward 0 for 4 on the night, 3 ground outs and a fly out. Only 1 at bat lasted more than 2 pitches, and that was back in the first inning. A full count ground out to George at first. Rutsky looks over at first base and will throw it back there. Kind of a just, you know, don't try anything, just stay on first base.
Yeah, I think that was more so than anything. Rutsky just wanted to regroup on the mound, so let's toss it over to first and then go through the signs again, figure out what pitch we want to throw.
He'll have an 0-1 to the newest Philadelphia Philly. Nasty curveball drops in on the inside corner, and Rutsky's a strike away from sending it to the bottom ninth.
That thing's got a ton of break tonight. I mean, it's nasty that he's able to snap that off. And again, it looks like a ball coming in on that left-handed hitter, and then it just drops right over the zone.
I don't think I've ever seen his curveball move this much. It just seems to look better and better every time he throws it. Crowd behind him on the 0-2, and he'll throw back to first.
A ton of late action on the curveball tonight, and you can tell he's locked in.
You can see the look of determination whenever the camera pans around front, whenever we see that angle. Short lead off first for Walters. 0-2 coming to Ward. Rutsky from the third base side of the rubber. He'll deal. Curveball missing, and it's 1-2. New set of balls for the home plate umpire, Stuart Howe. Aces got the first run of the game in the second from Darryl George, put Ford across in the fifth, and then 5 runs punctuated by a Jordan McArdle home run tied things up in the top of the sixth. That's how we get to 5-5. Rutsky will go to first again. And Jacob Robson, who leads off the ninth, was part of that 4-run rally in the fifth inning. Drove in Aaron Whitefield with a double. Rutsky set. Now the 1-2. Just missing outside. Did he go? Yes, he did. A late called strike 3, and Evan Rutsky gets out of the ninth with his second strikeout. Let's take a look here. Yep, looks like Ward went around. A late call. 2 strikeouts in the ninth for Rutsky. The Giants leave one stranded on a hit, and the Aces look to keep their season alive in the bottom of the ninth inning. Don't go anywhere. We got a tight one here on Aces TV. It all comes down to this for the Aces. We got a tie ball game. Melbourne 5, Adelaide 5. Josh Sperber, Mike Mark Antonini here with you. 8-9-1 coming up for the Aces. Robson, Khalil, and Burke. 3 of the Aces' most productive batters this game in a potential walk-off situation. Between those 3 hitters, they have 4 hits and 3 RBIs tonight.
And these are the guys that you want up right now because of the way they're swinging the bat. And like I said in the last half inning, Robson, a table setter kind of guy. If he gets on, he can make things happen with his legs. Khalil's a good bunter behind him. You know, a guy who could spray the ball the other way if you want to shake some things up and try hit and run. Who knows? But this is a good spot that the Aces are in right now.
Aces led most of the way since the scoring started in the second. It's been tied up since the sixth. It's a 1-0 count to Robson now. Struck out his last time up, but that RBI double, trading 2 baggers with Whitefield in the fifth in a 4-run rally. 1-0, misses low, 2-0. Adam McKillican still on the mound for the Giants. And Robson looking extra patient in the box, knowing he just needs to get himself on base. A walk is every bit as good of a hit in this situation. 2-0, hit high and foul.
I like that cut 2-0 right there. Now, we had just talked about trying to get on base, and now 2-0. A lot of guys would have, you take right there in a tie game late. But look, he knows he's getting fastball because McKillican doesn't want to put him on. So that's a really good 2-0 cut.
He got a good pitch. He swung at it just a little bit late. 2-1. Hit up the middle, and that's a chopper to Martinez. He'll field, throw to first, beating Robson by a step. Close play, but one out here in the ninth to bring up George Khalil.
Martinez has made a lot of slick plays out at short tonight. He's showing his range, and that's a nice play. Tough play up the middle. Good footwork there and a strong arm.
Thought for a second that was going to leak through, but few players with as good range as Michael Martinez over at short, the longtime big leaguer. Played in a couple of World Series. Khalil hits it the other way. That one's going to leak through, and the Aces put the go-ahead runner on in the ninth. George Khalil has reached base every at-bat today, including 3 hits. And now the lineup card resets for Chris Burke.
Had to get somebody on at some point. Winning run out there. See if the Aces can bring them around, and hopefully we can go home here after the bottom of the ninth. Looks like Ward's shaken up after the diving attempt.
Yeah, Chris Adamson coming on, as well as the trainer coming to just look at Chris Ward. He has been one of the best hitters and all-around players for Adelaide, as it's Ben Onofrio joining Chris Adamson out at second base. Just making sure Ward's all right as he's a bit shaken up. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain, but still standing up on his own power. And I think he's going to stay in the game.
Probably just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, on that dive maybe.
Late in the game, he's been out there a while tonight.
And whether you've been out in the stands all season or just getting in there the first time, now is the time to save on Aces memberships for next year. Save an average of $65 per membership when you sign up today with early bird pricing. Reserve your seat anywhere in the ballpark and save big when you come to Melbourne Ballpark this weekend and sign up with our staff. This offer is only available for a limited time, so come to a game and sign up now with deals starting as low as $20. Come watch the Aces live and score big for next year. Ward will stay at second base. Khalil's on first with 1 out, and Chris Burke looking to break the tie and end the game at the plate. He takes a called strike, 0-1. And as you mentioned, McKillican, a dangerous reliever for Adelaide. And was so good against the Aces when they visited back in November. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. But Burke has been probably the hottest hitter of late for the Aces, reaching base in all of his last 5 games, including hits in 4 of them. And all but that single in the 5th have gone for extra bases.
Hitting the ball hard, too.
1-1. Miss low, 2-1. Aces might want to think about sending Khalil here. Definitely good enough speed to steal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it a shot. Why not? At the point in the season, that's how you have to approach it. Why not?
Though Khalil has yet to steal a base this season. 2-1. Khalil or George. Wow. Burke fouls that off. 3rd time's a charm with me messing up the names. But it's a 2-2 count to Burke now. Waiting on deck is Robbie Glendinning, who's 0 for 4 today, but over the course of the season has been the Aces' most dependable bat. The 2-2. Fouled away again by Burke.
Yeah, he's on it right now. If he gets a pitch low and in, he might put this one out. That ball he hit in the first inning didn't quite make it. But you send one into his power zone down and in. Good luck.
I still thought that pitch left. Yeah. That looked gone. It was not, though. A fly out to McArdle in right in that instance. Does not want to repeat that there. 2-2 to Burke. Khalil short lead off of first. McKillican deals. Burke fouls away.
Another reason why I'd consider sending Khalil here, sort of a hit and run, is because Burke is so good at driving the ball the other way. If you open up even more of a hole on that left side with Martinez having to go cover the bag. You know, he sends one in the gap, game over.
Yeah. Khalil definitely good enough speed that an extra base hit could be dangerous, as it's a full count now to Burke.
That's a really good take. And now on 3-2, I'd consider it even more.
Yeah.
Just to try to stay out of a double play. You know, Burke, a guy who doesn't strike out a ton. I'd be willing to risk him lining into a double play. You know, I think you'd take your chances there that wouldn't happen.
Burke, 6 walks to 11 strikeouts on the season in 17 games. As a throw with a first to keep Khalil on. And now you got a lot at play in the head of Adam McKillican. Do you try and keep Khalil on first, who's lengthened his lead? Instead he goes to 3-2. And a very late called strike 3. Burke doesn't like it. The fans don't like it. Let's take a look at it here.
Oh, no.
That's
outside. I mean, you can clearly see January yank his glove back in the strike zone. Now, look, I mean, every catcher is going to do that. I mean, you got to do it as a catcher, but I mean, as an umpire, I mean, you can't make that call in this situation.
January takes a pitch that looked well into February and for a called strike 3. As Glendening swings and misses, but Khalil will escape to second on the wild pitch.
That's heads up right there.
Khalil might have been off on the pitch anyway. He got a really good jump on that. And great heads-up base running to put the go-ahead run in scoring position.
So at least they get a runner to second, but that's unfortunate because it should be first and second, 1 out right now.
With the wild pitch, it should be second and third, 1 out right now.
Right. And then you figure if that happens, maybe they walk Glendening to load the bases. And that would bring up Skoll, a lefty against a righty. You know, just needing a sac fly, send one through the hole into the outfield. Who knows? I mean, it changes the entire inning because of that call.
And now Chris Adamson out on the mound to have a chat with McGilligan. Stuart Howell's going to come and break up that mound meeting.
And it's unfortunate because, like, one pitch could be the difference in how this game's decided.
And right now, that one pitch is the difference between 2 outs and a runner on second, and 1 out and runners on second and third. But it's an 0-1 to Glendening, who already has a walk-off hit for the Aces this year. McGillican looks at second. He'll send the 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
Just waiting on Robbie to send a line drive over Martinez's head into left center, bring home that winning run.
The gaps, the power alleys open for Glendening. He puts one there. A crowd of 1801 will go home very happy. The 1-1. Inside, almost hitting Glendening, and it's 2-1. McGillican, not his best command today.
No.
At least in this inning.
He's gotten some guys to chase that breaking ball low and away, but they're just missing in with the fastball. I wonder if he goes back to that breaking ball because that's been an effective pitch.
2-1 to Glendening, 5-5 the score, 2 outs in the ninth. McGillican deals. And now it's 2-2.
Well, the strike zone continues to expand.
Let's take a look at this here.
Yeah, I mean that's a foot off the plate. It's nowhere close. It's in the left-handed batter's box. Can't say. I mean, really, that's where it is. That's bad.
2-2 to Glendening. I don't know what I can say about that on air. The 2-2. Inside, count runs full.
Another at-bat completely changed because it could be 3-1 right now.
Yeah.
Or, well, that could have been ball 4.
Yeah.
I got to imagine McGillican will go back outside now. He's the last few pitches he's alternated in, out, in, out.
You could hit Skolny on deck circle, it might be called a strike. That goes low and outside, and Robbie Glendening will head to second base, or head to first base with a walk.
Saw 5 balls in that AV right there.
Maybe closer to 6. Who knows? 2-out walk to Glendening, 2 on and 2 out for Jake Skoll, and now's that lefty-righty matchup that we've wanted, Mike.
Yeah, and Skoll, who's been quiet tonight, 0 for 3, he did have that sac fly. I like this spot for him right now. Guy was getting some extra work in earlier this week. They're just trying to get that timing down again.
Another guy who has rarely missed a day at the ballpark since he came to the Aces at the beginning of December. Came for that Brisbane series. That was his first one. And that one is hit into left center field. Is it going to drop? Diving Carr! Oh my goodness, he makes the catch! A game-saving stop for Jared Carr. And we're heading into extras in spectacular fashion. Wow. If that dropped, it would have been a walk-off. But Jared Carr laying out to keep this game going. A wild inning. And once again, we're heading into extras at Melbourne Ballpark. Don't go anywhere. Top of the 10th coming up.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
We're heading into extras. I've lost count how many times that's happened this year, but a really tight ball game between the Adelaide Giants and the Melbourne Aces, a rematch of last season's ABL championship. As Dan McGraw, or 2 seasons ago, excuse me, Dan McGraw coming in after a really solid inning by Evan Rutsky, and this punt 1-2-3 call to the bullpen brings in a guy who has recorded 2 saves in each of his past 2 appearances. And the Adelaide Giants should probably thank the man on the screen for this game still going on.
I like this new look Aces bullpen a lot. A lot of weapons in it, especially the left-handed weapons. Kennedy, Rutsky, and McGraw all into this game. Kennedy was really good, shutting the door down, keeping the game tied. Beatty, a scoreless inning, and then the other lefty, Rutsky, was fantastic to keep this game tied, pitching the 9th inning, and now McGraw having to work with men on base.
So per international rules, a pickoff at first base, and we've got one out. How about that? A quick strike to first eliminates Nick Ward from the equation. A huge pickoff, and we'll take a look right here.
Oh, his pickoff move is filthy. It's so much easier as a lefty to move over to first base. A lot of lefty pickoff moves should be balks, but they're not, and that was filthy right there from McGraw.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Andy Pettit. That was one of the nicest pickoff moves I've ever seen. A quick out and a nice push bunt over to first base by Martinez. Moves the runner to third, so Ian Walters 90 feet from scoring for Adelaide, but 2 outs instead of 1 with the run eliminated on first base.
I don't know about that call there to bunt. I mean, it was a pretty good bunt, but with 1 out and a man on second, I just don't know that that's productive because it took the second out to get him to third, and now you need a hit to get him in, or an error or a wild pitch, something like that, but you can't get him in with a sac fly. You can't get him in with an RBI ground out.
Yep, typically with these extra runners, if there's no one on, I understand that completely, but I agree. I mean, Martinez, who's also been the best hitter on the Giants arguably today, that was the only time he hasn't reached base. He was 2 for 3, and the other at bat, he reached on an error. 1-0 bouncing into Barnway's glove. 2-0 now to Anthony Kirion.
So it definitely helps the Aces. We'll take that, but I just think that that's not really the baseball play right there with 1 out.
And the Giants trusting Kirion. 2 outs now with 2-0 count. He should get something in the strike zone here from McGraw. The 2-0. Inside, a little bit low, 3-0.
I don't think McGraw's going to throw him a strike right here. The guy's hitting 370.
And you certainly don't want to pitch to Lattimore, but you got first base open, 2 outs. All you need is a ball in the infield, and the Aces should go in with a tie game. Get me over fastball makes it 3-1. Five the score. Two outs, the pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. Kirion thought it was ball 4, and now the count's full.
Looking at the replay here. Yeah, close, it's close.
At the knees, inside corner. The right call by Howe. So the payoff coming. Foul back into the netting. And that saved one from breaking my nose. We'll do it again.
Well, we got that net, and then I've got the window in front of me, so I was good. You've got a little more dangerous.
Thought we were friends, man.
Well, I mean, you shared your situation. I figured I'd let people know that I was more well protected.
Payoff pitch. Foul ball.
Protect Aussie Mike at all costs. That's why they're like, you're going to take the right side of the booth this season.
Gosh, I hope that's not true.
No, they didn't say that. You picked that side first, though.
That's true.
But I'm good over here. I like this side.
It's not like we're actually in danger of getting hit from foul balls. Just an FYI. The payoff again. Inside, and that's ball 4. So runners on the corners now. But keep in mind, it's runners on the corners instead of bases loaded. Once again, that pickoff that got the first out is proving all the more important as now a mound meeting with Dan McGraw as we take another look at the pickoff.
It wasn't even close.
No. Completely caught Chris Ward as Lavarnway will head back behind the plate. Robbie Glendinning will head back to short. And Quincy Lattimore will head to the plate. Lattimore, a seasoned vet. A guy who has been doing it for quite a long time, as has McGraw, though. First pitch to him right down Main Street for a called strike. Lattimore, a 4th-round pick of the Pirates out of high school in 2007. He's been a pro for quite a long time. McGraw, also a guy who has been around close to that long. He was signed by the Red Sox just a few years after Lattimore's pro debut. That is hit high in the air out to left field, and that is going to bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. So Lattimore into second. Scoring on the play is Walters, and Kirion will move to third. But still, the pickoff saved a run.
Yeah, and the fact that ball hopped over the wall saved a run, too. And that's going to loom large as the Aces go into the bottom of the 10th. Hoping McGraw can keep it a one-run game right here, because with 2 men on, if that first man to bat in the bottom of the 10th reaches for the Aces, I mean, advantage Aces if it's only a one-run deficit. But that's a high and away fastball that Lattimore just put a good swing on and sent it over the wall for the ground rule double. But again, that ball going over the wall saved another run.
Absolutely. And McGraw, a mistake pitch, the first run he's allowed since coming back from injury after 2 near perfect innings against Sydney. Both of those ended up in a save All he can get is the win, but he'll need help from the Aces lineup. And now the hero for the Giants, Jared Carr, up with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch misses for ball 1. Carr, the diving stop to save a walk-off winner from Skoll. Now the 1-0. Breaking ball, catching the outside corner, 1-1. That was the curve from McGraw. A nice sweeping action to it. 3-pitch mix for the lefty, 1-1. Curve again, now it's 2-1. Looking ahead to the 10th, Skoll and Glendinning will start on second and first. Darryl George, Ryan Lavarnway, and Jared Dale to do up for Melbourne. 2-1, swing and a miss, blowing the fastball by him. And now McGraw's 1 strike away from getting out with just 1 run. The 2 ghost runners, though, has grown on me, Mike. It just makes it that much more intense.
More exciting. You know, sometimes a man on second.
2-2, hammered, foul.
A man on second and a base open at first. A lot of times you see an intentional walk to start the inning, and that's not action.
Yeah.
And then first and second, no outs. Then a lot of teams bunt. Here you just straight up start it with runners at first and second. You eliminate a lot of times, you know, the inevitable intentional walk, and you just get right to it. Do you want to bunt or hit away to start the inning? And then you got action right away.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. McGraw deals. Missing outside. Great block by Lavarnway as the count runs full. And you know Lavarnway wants to just end it here before a righty and Liam Spence comes up. Trying to get the lefty out. And Carr, who is the main reason this game is still continuing. Here's the payoff. Waving a whiff, strike 3. Dan McGraw punches out Carr for the final out of the 10th inning, but a run comes across. It all comes down to this. The Aces season hanging in the balance as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. Canberra gets a run across on a hit, and they leave 2 stranded. 6-5, bottom of the 10th coming up on Aces TV.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Adelaide gets 1 run across, and it's do or die time for the Aces. 6-5 the score, but the Aces will have to do it against one of the best relievers in the ABL, Todd Van Steensel, coming up to the mound for the bottom of the 10th, looking for the save on this punt 1-2-3 pitching change and call to the bullpen.
Well, the Aces saw quite a bit of Van Steensel in the series at Adelaide, and you know, like many of the other Giants relievers, he mowed him down. So this is a tough task going up against Todd, but you got Darryl George at the plate. You got the winning run at first base. I say advantage Aces.
Now, I don't think a bunt is in the cards here.
No.
And certainly with the fans as excited as they are, it won't be. You got Robbie Glendening on second, Jake Skoll on first.
That would bring the element of surprise, I'll say that.
Yeah. George a homer already, and a big cheer came from the crowd as he came to the plate. 10th inning, 6-5. Heat and Cavs locked in a 6-6 tie in the bottom of the ninth in Canberra. Actually, the Cavs win, so the Aces can't be eliminated today. First pitch to George, a high bunt, and it's caught by the first baseman in foul territory. Liam Spence with a sliding stop and a very surprising bunt yields out number one.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't. You know, a guy with as much pop as Darryl has, a guy who really doesn't bunt. And I don't know if that was Darryl's call or it came from the coaching staff, but that's a tough one right there because down one run with two on, you don't really need to bunt. I understand playing for the tie at home, I really do. But that's a case where why not use the three chances you have to get a run home instead of giving up an out to move both runners? Because then there's the chance that you don't move either runner, which happened.
And we saw it happen in Sydney as well with that squeeze attempt by Glendening, who had hit well that series. An interesting call leading off the 10th, but now the big power bat of Ryan Lavarnway coming up, spraying this one foul. And a nice catch made in front of the party deck. The Gold Glove Aces fandom continues. And a fun souvenir here in extra innings for that gentleman.
That would be a cool giveaway, like sort of like a mini plaque thing. If you just get a few fans like with gloves on in the stands going up for a baseball as like a giveaway type of thing.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Spice up the end of season awards.
Yeah.
And encourage the crowd to lay out for foul balls, which is always a good thing.
Love the enthusiasm.
0-1 to Lavarnway. 2 on and 1 out. Aces need a run to keep this game alive. Van Steensel deals. Fouled away again, and Lavarnway, last couple at bats, has really been zeroing in on something big.
Yeah, he's just locking in, you know, making adjustments after every pitch. Guy who knows how to attack, how to, you know, when to take pitches, sees the strikes, sees the ball really well and knows the strike zone.
So it's an 0-2 to Lavarnway. 0 for 4 on the day, did reach on a fielder's choice in the fourth. Tying run is at second in the form of Robbie Glendening. Go ahead is at first in the form of Jake Skoll. Van Steensel looks over at second base and deals. Fouled away by Lavarnway again.
I'd love to see him just put one over the right center field wall. He's getting the fastball in the outer half right now, and he's doing a good job getting around on it. See if he can just barrel one up.
Yeah, he's hitting it opposite way foul, so an Oppo Taco would be nice. Even just a nice little pull shot down the left field line like we've seen from him a couple times this year already.
Man, a taco of any kind would be nice right now. I ate my middle inning snack too early, and I didn't plan for extras. I'm hungry up here.
So if anyone has tacos, please come to the broadcast booth. We do have a Mexican street food truck outside. 0-2 now to Lavarnway. Van Steensel deals. And that one is hit the other way into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Motoring around third is Glendening. The throw is late. And Robbie Glendening ties this game. Skoll into third. Safe. Ryan Lavarnway comes up clutch for the Aces. And this game is tied.
Well, I just talked about it. He was getting the fastball on that outer half quite a bit in that at-bat. He got it again, ripped it through the hole. And a great job by Skoll to pick up third base right there.
Took advantage of the throw wide of the plate, and Ryan Lavarnway has done nothing but deliver since coming to the Aces. Look how far offline this throw is. A good one wouldn't have gotten Glendening, and Skoll, smart base running as the catcher was up that first base line. moving 90 feet from home plate. And now Chris Adamson coming out to have a chat with his closer in a very sticky situation. Because you got to think, in this situation, normally an intentional walk is in the cards. But an intentional walk would load the bases for Aaron Whitefield.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're not going to do that. I think the best bet is to hope Dale, on the Adelaide side of things, is to hope that Dale hits to an ending double play right here. They'll bring everybody in about halfway right here to try to cut that run off if they can. Big spot for Dale. I look for him to stick with that similar approach, try to get that fastball in the outer half, shoot at the right.
So the game is tied. The infield is in. The stadium is loud. And Jared Dale in a position to be the hero for the Aces. One out, the pitch. Swing and a miss. The breaking ball goes low, and it's a strike one to Dale. He's reached in each of his past two appearances. A walk in the sixth, a single in the eighth, and a single would end it here. Skoll on third, Lavarnway on first. As Van Steensel will get set. 0-1. Just missing outside, and the count evens at 1-1. 22 years old in Dale. Guy who spent some time in AAA with the El Paso Chihuahuas in the Padres system. Will start either in high A or double A likely for the Padres in a few short weeks. Now the 1-1. Outside again, 2-1. And you don't want to bring up Whitefield in a high leverage situation if you're Adelaide, but Van Steensel can relax a little bit in terms of throwing strikes.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to come with one in the zone right here. He got Dale to chase for the first strike. We'll see what he comes with here.
2-1 the count. Van Steensel deals. That one is hit into center field. Carr will not get there. Jared Dale says goodnight, and the Aces walk it off. 7-6 Melbourne.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Resilient club right there to come back after leading 5-0, to lose the lead in one inning, and then to fight their way back. They go down in the 10th and then come back and plate two.
What an end to this game, and the Aces bring out the fireworks here at Melbourne Ballpark with an exciting walk-off. 7-6 the final score in one of the most wild games we've seen all season.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. It's pretty cool to see them walk it off before a fireworks show. That's a great view right there on our broadcast feed. But what a win for this team. I mean, they really needed it. They earned it. That was fun. And like you said, Canberra won tonight, so the Aces still have a fighting chance. I mean, it's an uphill battle, but I think the main thing is to just enjoy this win tonight and not worry about anything else. And, I mean, this team had some fun out there tonight.
Yeah, and obviously the Aces don't know about the Canberra score, but really, if you're Melbourne, you just want to keep the season going. Keep winning games. Keep yourself to have a puncher's chance against the Perth Heat, because the last round of the season is against the team ahead of you.
Yeah, I think what's important to remember is that regardless of what happens, and playoffs or not, the season doesn't end at the end of this series. There's still a makeup game with Geelong, Korea on Tuesday, an entire 4-game series in round 10 with Perth next weekend. So there's still baseball to be played. So this team, they just got to keep that mindset of, stay locked in, stay fired up, and keep having fun. Take another look at the Dale walk-off, third walk-off hit of the season for the Aces. That's a sweet swing right there. I mean, that is really smooth from Jared Dale. Liner into the gap, and that's a nice win for this ball club.
So the Aces get their first walk-off win since Brisbane, when Robbie Glendinning was just a couple of feet short of a home run, and it comes off the bat of one of the younger players on the Aces team. The 22-year-old brings the fireworks out in Melbourne Ballpark, and the Aces get their first win against the division-leading Adelaide Giants all season. and what a game it was.
That one was a lot of fun. Definitely up there, top 5 most fun game at Melbourne Ballpark this season. That was really cool. I mean, this fireworks show is really cool. I mean, this is by far the best fireworks show we've seen this season at the ballpark. Vibes are high. As we take a look at some of the replays, I mean, Darryl George got the fireworks started early. You hang them, we bang them. It's too easy for him when he gets a pitch right there.
His 4th homer of the season, and all but one of them have come here at Melbourne Ballpark. The Aces took a 1-0 lead early on in the second. And Scott Harkin, unfortunate he didn't get the victory tonight, but he absolutely dealt in his first start for the Aces. 5 punch-outs.
Oh, he pitched well enough to get the W, and he did everything that the Aces could have hoped. I mean, a guy who just got here about a week ago, filling a rotation spot out of need, and he looked really good.
But the Aces started the party in the 5th inning. 4 runs coming across, the first coming on that double by Jacob Robson, eluding the glove of Jared Carr, who was very involved in the important plays of this game. The next batter was George Khalil. He chopped a single past the third baseman. Robson sped around to score. That made it 3-0. The error wouldn't have helped anyway. It just moved Khalil up to second. And then Chris Burke kept it going. 4 straight hits to begin the 5th inning. And that RBI single from Burke kept him hot. He's reached base in each of his past 5.
A lot of guys just doing their job tonight. It was a team effort, and because of that, they were able to edge out the Giants tonight and get a W.
And Skoll brought home the last run of that 5th inning to give the Aces a 5-0 lead. And that scored Burke on the sacrifice fly to make it 5-0. But it kind of unraveled a little bit in the 6th inning. Cody Mincy didn't get through a full inning, and that was a big issue. A potential double play with the bases loaded to trade 2 outs for a run made it 5-3, and then Jordan McArdle sent Cody Mincy home early.
A tough outing for Mincy, his first relief appearance. It's a big difference from starting, but the rest of the bullpen picked him up, and for the Aces, I mean, they didn't quit. You know, a lot of teams would have, after losing that lead, it would have been really deflating. It wasn't the case for the Aces. They knew that they could still win this game, and they did.
Yeah, big double play there. John Kennedy was spectacular after Mincy came across, and the Aces almost walked it off in the 9th.
They did. They had a chance to do it. A really nice play in center by Jared Carr, and that pickoff by McGraw to start things off in the 10th. That is one of the biggest plays of the game.
And this was pretty huge as well. Obviously, not a lot of fielding done. A big hit by Lattimore, just bounced in the right spot and went into the Giants bullpen. That would have played another run, and we'd still be calling baseball right now.
Oh, no doubt. If that ball stays in the park, there's another run on the board for sure. And it changes the way the Aces approach that inning. And then Ryan Lavarnway, after the George popped up the bunt, stayed with that fastball in the outer half and changed the entire inning right there with that hit.
Ryan Lavarnway tied up the game. Great base running by Jake Skoll with a wide throw at home plate. And that set up this. Jared Dale turned on a 2-1 pitch into left center. No chance for Carr. Ball game over for the Aces.
Too easy. I love it. It was a really fun bottom of the 10th. A fun game to be a part of overall. That's a really hard-fought win. They earned it. Looking to keep the good vibes rolling and get another one tomorrow.
As we said, Canberra taking the win in walk-off fashion. Bottom of the 9th. They beat Perth 7-6, so the elimination number for the Aces stays at 2. Melbourne, the only team in the Southwest Division to get a victory tonight, as Geelong lost to Auckland as well. Could not have come at a bigger time for the Aces.
Absolutely. Look, the Aces still need a lot to happen, but just enjoy the win tonight, and whatever happens, happens.
Dan McGraw gets his 2nd win of the season. He has been a pitcher of record in his 3 relief outings since coming back from injury. 2-3 on the season. Todd Van Steensel gets his first loss of the year and his 2nd blown save, thanks to a spectacular extra innings victory for the Aces. That is going to do it for our broadcast tonight. The Aces still with plenty to play for. 7 o'clock on a Saturday night in a huge Game 3 against the Adelaide Giants tomorrow. The Aces, as we said, Mike, just need to keep on winning.
Hey, let's run it back. Let's have some more fun tomorrow. 3 home games left in the regular season. We're going to make them count for sure up here in the broadcast booth. Let's have some fun tomorrow night.
Make sure to join us. Pregame will start right around 6:50. Thank you once again to our fantastic crew at Sportscast Australia. Thank you all for tuning in. And, of course, for Ed Wyatt and my broadcast partner, Mike Marcantonini, I'm Josh Sperber. We want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow for another day of Aces baseball. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a great Friday night.